Two things are going to come out of this podcast. One, we're going to be canceled, and two, we're probably going to get divorced from our wives.
So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate.
It's like crying, just jerking it on if you on. What the fuck? Jerking it on if you on. Jerking it on if you on.
So fucking inappropriate.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time again for that top 10 list you don't give a fuck about by two guys you really don't give a fuck about.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Inappropriates. Today's episode is brought to you by, put your preacher hat on, the Book of Revelations.
The Book of Revelations, the final book of the Bible, is sponsoring this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. That's right, folks. The Book of Revelations is sponsoring our podcast today. Do you feel down? Do you feel broke up? Well, don't worry. The end of the world is coming, and the final call of Christ coming back on that white horse will be here soon. But if you're anything like my family, if my uncle's blowing his nose when God sounds that trumpet, we'll never know it's happening because Lord knows that's the loudest fucking thing I've heard all year. All right, folks, the Book of Revelations. We're going to open all seven seals. All hell's going to break loose, and shit's going to go down, and I'm not talking about the last election. Thank you for sponsoring us today, the good final book of the Bible, Revelations.
All right. You know what? Let's do a secondary sponsor. This is because our episode is top 10 active singles wrestlers that we would start a promotion with. So keeping with that thread, I got a phone call last night, and this person wants to this group wants to sponsor us, the Ministry of Darkness.
Today's episode is also co-sponsored by the Ministry of Darkness. If the Revelations on the other side wasn't good enough, that's right, folks. It's the Ministry of Darkness, headed up by none other than the Undertaker and the Brood. And if you don't know who that is, why are you listening? Today's sponsors, the Undertaker, the Brood, and crucifying folks on that freaking dark Ministry of Darkness. What was that? It was a symbol, right? I don't know. You're telling me make this shit up on the fly. I can't. I am dead. I don't know.
All right.
The Undertaker symbol. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Does not work.
Enough of the sponsorships. We'll just go ahead and get into this one because this is going to run long, and I am already late. Had a bad morning. Doesn't help that I didn't get home until 1:30. Then I spent the next hour and a half doing the list because I didn't have it ready yet. And then I got back up to come here, had to turn around and get my wallet so that I could get gas. So now I'm here, and we're going to get this done, though.
Right. We are going to persevere and push through, and it's going to be probably a long one just because of the topic and the conversation of it. But, hey, this is why we book out a couple slots as much as possible.
Yeah. This one was a very tough one for me. I had to use different parameters to condense it down, and I still have supposed to be top 10. I have 20, so I'm going to run through 10 honorable mentions.
Shit, dude.
I'm going to run through. I love wrestling almost as much as I love basketball. So
I mean, I love wrestling, but I got it down to 10 with one honorable mention.
I'm willing to bet also yours is probably all WWE people.
You would be very wrong.
Oh, okay, good. I'm pleasantly surprised then because that's what I was expecting.
I mean, okay, let me tell you, they have a lot of these guys don't currently wrestle in WWE, but they have in the past.
And they're active now, though, right?
They're active now.
Okay.
Actually, now several of them are in AEW. Okay. But let's be honest, like, this is off the guys' talents. Either talents on the mic, talents in the ring, just the technical skills of what they have. They never should, no matter what promotion got these guys, they were getting phenomenal wrestlers regardless.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, it's 10 male active and singles wrestlers that we start promotion with. So if they're considered a tag team, for instance, You're now familiar, I think, with Ace Austin because you saw him at the Pro Wrestling Revolver show. He is a tag team known as ABC with Chris Bay, who is
He's also a singles.
He also is, but he's currently. See, this is where I battled because he would be on this list, but I put him with the tag team of ABC because he's with him and Chris Bay. Chris Bay right now is injured. That's why you're seeing a lot of him as singles right now.
Okay.
But so I left anybody that I would consider a tag team off of my list. I left a lot of older people that I would normally like have high praise for. Example, Randy Orton, probably my third favorite wrestler of all time. He can still go, but if I were to start a promotion tomorrow, Randy Orton wouldn't be one that I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to build around him. Not saying I wouldn't have him come to on my promotion, but I wouldn't say, all right, I'm going to give you a 10-year deal. Let's make this happen. I'm going to make you that kind of thing.
Right. I mean, he would definitely put asses in the seats.
Oh, yeah, 100.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like,
but I was going at it, like I said, I had to condense this down to what
active
I have.
enough to actively build this promotion.
Active
for,
and
right?
young enough. That's where the age thing comes in because I got the age next to all the people that I chose also. I did not include luchadors because to me, I'm going to probably.
Oh, dude.
I'm gonna. Well, hold on, listen to me. I'm gonna make another. I had to condense this list. I'm telling you, this would be a top 100, and I wouldn't be. So I had different parameters. So I left out luchadors, and eventually I'm going to suggest. All right, let's do a list, and it'd be the top 10 luchadors that you would bring into your motion. So
See, you've segmented this out because I have a luchador
That's
on my
fine.
list. You know, I have a guy who I've seen more of a singles thing that that you're considering a tag team thing. You know, whatever. But
that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, there's a few different things on that. You know, but yeah, you have went way into a.
Yeah. I had
you
to.
have corralled off so many sections of this, man.
I
Like,
had to. It's the only way that I could do. And I'm going to leave off people, and I'm like, damn it, why did I leave that person off? It's just because we had to do a top 10. So so here's my cop out.
So I had to go off my first gut reaction of if I was going to sit and go who because if I would be like you if I sat and tried to really think it out
Yeah.
because that would create a huge problem for me.
Well, it did for me.
So I literally took like almost a week and a half to make this list. I'd be like, and I would randomly go, okay, gut reaction. I have to pull someone right now to build a promotion on who would it be.
Okay.
You know what? The first name comes to mind is this, and this is in this, and this is why I would do this, and this is what I could do with this person. Cool. I'm writing that on the list, right? Okay. So I couldn't go into that like longevity depth of it because then I would end up where you're
Where
at.
I'm at, yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm just going to say, and nobody can see, your goddamn jersey's loud as shit. Like, that is some colors going on,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
like, there's the yellows, the greens, the reds, the white. Like, holy
do you know
fuck,
who it is?
dude. No.
This is Gary Payton, the glove from the Seattle Supersonics back
Okay.
in the 90s. They're no longer a team. However, they when they disbanded or whatever, Oklahoma City technically got their team, and they just won the NBA
Yeah,
championship.
okay, so they kind of dissolved into the thunder.
Not at all
so to
why I'm
speak.
wearing this, but yes. But yeah, it is a very bright. This was my second favorite team, New York Knicks, and then Seattle Supersonics, and then they disbanded. But yeah, GP, Gary Payton, love the guy. Anyways, we'll do a top 10 NBA list one day. I don't know if you're.
Oh, God, that's going to be terrible for me.
It will be the same reason right here. Is this list? But okay,
mean-
were you finished what you were saying? I feel like
No. Sorry. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, holy shit, there's so many colors blasting back at me. And it's like, it's just like, holy hell.
Okay, so back to my parameters. Just like I left luchadors off. There's going to be some people on here that you're like, who? And there's going to be like, oh yeah, sure. And same thing on your list. I'm going to hear. I'm like, fuck, why did I include him? But
So should we run through all 10 of your honorable
That's what I'm
mentions
gonna
real
say.
quick? Because I have one.
I'm going to do my cop out real quick and run through the 10. I'm not. I'll say their age and game, like maybe a little small piece of information, I guess. But so actually, you know what? It'd be quicker. You do your one honorable mention.
My one honorable mention is Orange Cassidy.
Oh, okay.
That guy has a gimmick that I think is probably one of the most different things I've ever seen in wrestling, and it works. But I think it only works for him.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody.
I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's something that's unique. And when you're trying to build a promotion and a brand, you have to stand and set apart, right? You need the loud guy on the mic. You need the guy who's super athletic. You need the guy who, of course, obviously you need your heels. You need your baby faces. You gotta build all that, right? But when you look at what's the one thing that's going to stand out from every other promotion, and I'll be honest, he stands out from his own promotion just on how he operates and does what he does in the ring.
Yeah.
Nobody climbs to the top rope with their hands in jean pockets and does a backflip off and does. I mean, he has a very unique, and the crowd loves it.
Yes.
It's to the point that the crowd legit is. I don't know if he's a babyface or a heel. He just is.
I unfortunately, I don't think he'll ever be able to be a heel. Like, no matter, he's going to have to do something dastardly.
He would end up. I kind of put him in the same category that I put kind of like Stone Cold in. Like, he's not bad, he's not good, but you love him because of what he is, right? Now, he's not at the same level as Stone Cold. I'm not putting him on that same, like,
He can wrestle better.
echelon.
He can wrestle better. At technical skills, Orange Cassidy can wrestle better. But anyways, go on.
Okay, but well, I mean, there's a difference in style. He's more
100%.
technical. Where you know, obviously, Stone Cold was the brawler. You came just to see him just whip ass and leave, right? So I think they're both very good at what they did. In fact, Stone Cold's probably the best at what he did. But at the same point in time, you have, you know, like I said, Orange Cassidy. That's just one guy. I was like, man, I probably could do it, but he's not. He didn't make that top 10 cut. He probably would have been like 11 or 12 for me.
Okay, that's fair. All right. He also is not on my list, and that's one I'm like, damn, why didn't I put him on here? See, I told you already. All right, so real quickly, I'm just going to go from 11 to 20. Mustafa Ali, former WWE, currently
Currently TNA, currently on my T-shirt.
yeah, he was at the show that
Actually, I could see that dude is very well. He does very well in his ring presence and what he does, man.
amazing talent.
Super nice guy too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. So it's not just their character, because everybody's character could change if you're good at what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have the character-wise when I put it on here. It's people who can play different characters, but mainly it goes off of their in-ring talent, their mic skills, and their likability. Those are the three like main criteria that I used for my top 10.
Yeah, but having talked with him, like, dude's just super chill outside.
Oh yeah,
the ring, too, you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying?
That would fall under likability.
Right.
But he's an amazing talent. And honestly, one of the reasons he did not make the top 10 is his age. He is 39 years old.
Is he really?
Yeah.
God,
It doesn't look like it.
Played a sloppy first half of life. Holy shit! I mean, for those of you who don't know, look him up. But that dude looks like he's probably mid-20s. Like, he is like ripped, cut, looks great. Like, and I'm over here like I've had way too many 40s and cheeseburgers and shit. Like,
We're in the same boat, brother. All right, so Mustafa Ali is number 11.
Yep.
Number 12, Powerhouse Hobbs. I love me some Will Hobbs. I love his story. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but his brother was his manager. Mm-hmm. He died. That like encouraged Powerhouse even more to step into like
that
wrestling,
limelight,
and he is phenomenal. His talk about a monster. That motherfucker looks
dude
like
is big.
Yeah, that dude is,
dude is big. There's a reason he has Powerhouse in front of his name. That dude, kind of slightly reminds me of the guys who go after World's Strongest Man. Like dude is just big.
Yep.
Not cut, but huge.
Yeah.
I would not fuck with that dude in a bar fight.
And he's good technical wrestler. His mic work needs a little work, but he can still talk.
Mm-hmm.
So that would
always
be
room for improvement.
another honorable mention. All right, this one right here is crazy. Leaving this off the list is absolutely crazy. I deserve a slap in the face. But again, it's the age. He is 41 years old. And I'm talking about Kenny Omega, one of the best wrestlers in the world. I know this. To leave him off the top 10 is blasphemy. I'm doing it because of age.
This is where we kind of disagree. I like him.
What?
I like Kenny Omega. Okay, I think I've told you, because now that you told me AEW is now on HBO, so I can now start really watching, right? Yeah. The dude has done phenomenal stuff in Japan, New Japan Wrestling. He's done phenomenal stuff, you know, where he's at now. There's something about him that just makes me go, I'm not super excited when he gets in the ring, and I'm not super disappointed either. I'm kind of in a lukewarm spot when it comes in. And it could just be I haven't seen enough of his matches.
I think so, because you're like 1% of wrestling minority.
I most likely, but I haven't really decided one way on the other on him. But I agree with you. His in-ring work is solid. There is
not a crisper Snapdragon suplex.
And when I look at guys in their 40s that are doing what they're doing, I have to consider guys like Kenny Omega. I have to consider guys like LA Knight, who's better on the mic, I believe, than he really is in the ring. But
True story.
I can't say anything because the dude is wrestling in one of the biggest promotions in the world, and he's still doing stuff I'll never do, right? So I can critique all day long, but there's still these guys in their 40s still pulling this off like really well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's guys pushing 50 who should have retired 5 years ago. Just someone forgot to tell them. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, like I said, regardless of what you just said, most people probably like this motherfucker doesn't know anything about wrestling because I left him off the top 10. But it's again because of his age.
Kenny, yep.
I would love to still have him in my promotion, regardless. All right. So next one, Seth Rollins, aka Tyler Black. What?
I do not like Seth Rollins.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Okay. Well,
I don't like Seth Rollins on a character level. His wrestling is good. I do not like his character. Oh my god.
well, see, again, I think that man is phenomenal on the mic, phenomenal in the ring, and he can play any character. I've seen him play extreme super over babyface. I've seen him play tweener. I've seen him play extreme everyone, including my wife, hates him heel. Like he across the board, phenomenal. But again, it goes back to his age. He's 38 years old.
I like his entrance music.
Okay. Next one, Anthony Bowens. He was a team with Max Caster in the Acclaimed. They've split up. The 5-tool player Anthony Bowens. If you're watching more AW, you'll learn more about him. He's never been in WWE or anything. He is known.
Ring a bell.
He is known as the pride of wrestling. He is a openly gay man, but phenomenal in ring. Does need more mic work, but phenomenal technical wrestler.
I don't have any issues with I mean, there's the gay and lesbians in wrestling.
Yeah, I don't either. I just want to bring it up
started
because that's what he is.
to really kind of come to the forefront. Like WWE is kind of like showcasing a little bit now because they're not really. Damian Priest comes to mind on that. He is just that's the way it is. And there's a
Damian
couple,
Priest isn't gay.
Which one was it?
I'm not sure, but continue with what you're saying. But he's not gay.
Was it not Damian Priest?
I don't know who you're talking
I
about.
could have swore it was someone in Judgment Day.
People think Finn Balor's gay. He's also not gay.
No, I know. Finn Balor's not gay. And then there's a couple of the female wrestlers who are
Yes, there's
who are lesbians.
very
in
many of
WWE,
those.
and it doesn't. I mean, they're still solid wrestlers in the ring.
Yeah,
but they kind of come out a little more on being open with it. Fuck. Now who's that? Now that's going to drive me nuts. Now.
Not sure. Damian Priest is the big guy.
My apologies to Damian.
Yeah. He's 100% not gay. I can't think. I know who he's with, but I can't think of
Dude,
it.
I can almost picture it in my mind. I just said the wrong name. All right. Whatever.
But yeah, I only brought up because he's literally his gimmick now. Well, not gimmick, but his thing is the pride of wrestling. That's the only reason I brought it up.
So he's kind of combining the two things.
Yeah,
for what
he's
he does.
full force saying, "Look at this, motherfuckers," and he's amazing. It's one person I've met, and just him in general, the person I shook his hand and I said, "Please never change," like to his face because he's an amazing individual. Anyways, all right, continue on. Like I said, I got to roll through this shit. Kevin Knight. So this is another younger guy new to the scene. He's got big in Japan. Now he's in AEW. He's actually teaming with Speedball Mike Bailey right now, which also he's not on this list, but he's a good person to put on the list as well. I left him off just because he is newer, and some of the top 10, if I had to choose between that or him, I would choose that individual.
Right.
But Kevin Knight 100% deserving to be on this list as well. All right. Sammy Guevara. This one hurt me because I'm a super big fucking Sammy Guevara fan. But the 10 people above him on this list, I just couldn't make the argument to take one of them off.
Dude, Sammy Guevara reminds me of a kid I used to work that used to work for me at Harbor Freight. Like kind of the look, the kind of attitude. But I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from with him. I like Sammy. Also
met him. He's a great person. All right, moving on. Here's the only one that would be considered a luchador that I have on my honorable mentions. But he's more of a powerhouse, technical, submissive wrestler. So when you think luchador, it's not what you think of. You normally think high flying and that kind. So Hechicero. He is phenomenal. He is 47 years old.
Is he really?
While I would love to have him in my promotion, I wouldn't have him for long, let's be honest.
That dude is still really agile for
Oh, God,
47
yes.
years
Oh,
old. Like
yes,
that,
he
that
is.
guy is like
100%.
yes.
All right, here's one that's probably going to shock a lot of people. Raj Desi, if I'm saying his name right. Jinder Mahal. His real name is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I loved Jinder Mahal, especially his championship run when he was the great Maharaja. I loved that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's phenomenal in the mic. I think he's great in the ring. His fucking physique is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 38 years old, so he's off of my list. And then number 20, this is one that you may or may not know. He's in the independent scene. He does a lot of stuff in Mexico. He is Corey Graves' brother, Sam Adonis.
Don't know who that is. That
You
is.
know who Corey Graves is, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
I know who
it's,
Corey
it's,
Graves.
it's his brother. So,
I did not know he had a brother or he
Yep.
wrestled. Wow.
oh yeah,
Okay.
and he's really good too. And he's very, very over. And he's very, very when he goes to Mexico, when he's playing the heel role, he's very, very American, which just like the crowd eats that shit up and like hates him, and because he comes out with the American flag.
Dude,
and
that is
it's amazing.
risky playing a heel, especially
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Because the Mexican wrestling market is kind of like the Japanese wrestling market, right? It is completely different than the American market. The American market, they will yell and scream, and yeah, I mean, it's a heel, it's a thing. We all know it's a show. You cheer the guy you like, you boo the guy that you technically don't like, but we all know it is what it is, right? And I've always said for years that wrestling is one of the greatest shows of athleticism you'll ever watch. And I'm not just what these guys pull off, what they put their bodies through for a show is insane on certain levels, right? And you obviously think back to guys like Sabu. You think back to guys like
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Sabu. Yeah, absolutely. Guys like Rhino, guys like Mankind, guys like Rob Van Dam. Like these guys struggle to this day because of the damage they put on their body. I mean, holy shit, the amount of tacks they pulled out of Mankind. Mankind comes off a cage to a concrete floor, and we're talking like a 20-foot drop, and everybody's like, yeah, it's fake as hell. Okay, climb up there and jump. It would be my answer. No one's going to do it. This guy does it because the crowd's there. It's his job, and he wants to push that limit, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying anything about scripting. I'm not saying anything about predetermination. The athleticism of these guys is why I go watch what they do, because they're phenomenal at what they do. And I'm not making any bones about it being real. It's not the UFC. It's not. These guys are not taking full-fledged punches and working 300 days a year. It's not happening. But it is a show. It's no different than going to Disney on Ice for your kids, right? Mm-hmm. There's that same shock and awe. It's just we're adults and this is cool, right? This is why we do it. And I honestly kind of forgot where I was going with
Mexico.
Mexico.
It started with Mexico.
Down in Mexico and Japan, they will try and stab you on the way
Mexico,
to the ring.
they will
the heels.
stab a motherfucker.
They will freaking they take that to a whole new level. Like people talk about Americans like, oh, I can't believe you're into wrestling. Like, go to Mexico. You might get stabbed in the stands for cheering the wrong guy from the guy next to you. It's insane. That's why guys like Bruiser Brody died down there and things like that. I mean, there was more to it, but that's how seriously they take it.
And picture this big blonde man walking down the ramp waving an American flag.
Oh God, I'm surprised he hasn't been shot. Like that is like a quintessential American. Yep.
Great dude though.
Yep.
Again, I've met him a couple times. Great dude. Okay, so that is my 10
We're through the honorable
mentions.
mentions, folks. Like now we're getting to the meat of it all.
Now slow it down a little bit. We'll talk a little bit more about the people. But that's my 10 honorable mentions. You said Mankind, and it reminded me. So my brother, who's a day one listener to our podcast, listens to all episodes and everything.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Kyle. I want to give him a shout out for two reasons. One, because he's a day one listener, so I'm going to plug his thing. I'll do that in a second. But first, what reminded me, because you said Mankind. So he listened, and he's like, he texts me, tell me why Matthew reminds me of Mankind. When he hears you talk, for some reason, he thinks of Mankind.
I don't even think we sound alike.
No, I don't. I don't know, but you.
Maybe it's a little bit of personality,
I think
possibly.
so.
And if that's the case, I just got paid one of the top 3 greatest compliments of my life. Thank you. Just because I'm a massive fan of Mankind. Mm-hmm. I have so much respect for what that guy's done in his career, and he seems like a guy I would hang out with daily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we would just hang out daily. That's just the kind of guy Mankind reminds me of. So, yeah. I was told one time I looked like I could be Kevin Smith's cousin. And that was freaking like one of the best days of my life. And now Mankind, I sound like Mankind. So hey, I'm not having a bad Saturday.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now.
All right. Well, for a quick
I've
plug,
never met your brother, but we are cool. I'm just gonna say that we are totally cool, man.
quickly then, I will shout out his. He's a Twitch streamer. He's been doing it for a couple of years now on the grind, on the come up. But if you are into video games and watching other people play video games, he's built a good community. You can hop in there and just say hi to him. It is Chef Boy RC, Chef Boy, and then the letter R, and spelled out C, SEA. So Chef Boy RC. The reason that he is that is because the main game he plays is Sea of Thieves. So if you're into that kind of thing, please go give him a watch real quick. But enough of that. Let's get into the actual top 10. And we're already 50 minutes into this record. Well, not recording, but our session because I was late.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. Give us 10.
All right. So as some people know, I took my daughter to her first wrestling show a while back. Actually, you and your wife were there. We're going back to another show in August. And I'm sitting there making that list, and she was kind of glancing over my shoulder, and she's been watching a little bit more and kind of getting more involved. But so the number 10 spot is for her because we were kind of going through it, and she kind of threatened me that this person had to be on this list, which I don't necessarily not disagree with.
I want to guess.
To a certain degree. What's that?
I want to guess who the person is.
Okay.
Is it Beastman?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So it's one of the people you wouldn't put on your list.
Oh. Okay.
But like I said,
that's right. She wasn't at that one. She was at the Pro Wrestling Revolver.
She wasn't at the Ryan.
So then my
She was
second
at
one would have
Revolver.
been Ace Austin.
And that is true. It is
Okay.
Ace Austin.
He is a beautiful man.
She was completely infatuated, and when he jumped off the basketball goal straight into the crowd like that kind of sealed the deal for her. Plus, everything else that happened that night, she's 100% on board. And a lot of times for some people, it's going to a live event that kind of makes you understand and see what's kind of going on. Because several times we had to move because they were right where we were at. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
Which is always a really cool, fun experience in that situation. And all the seats, there was no bad seats in that place to sit. So regardless of where we would have been, it would have been a phenomenal show. It's not like some of these other promotions that come around where they have to put 40,000 people in a stand because that's what they need to keep the show on the road. Right. And I understand that. But these are more in your face, kind of this is awesome type scenario, And that's what she got. And she is kind of fully entrenched and on board with this whole idea and scenario. So number 10, and I don't really disagree with her because I think this kid has a lot of talent. He has a lot of ability. If he ever hears this, dude, keep doing what you're doing because you are making waves. I honestly believe that, and those ripples will go out to bigger and better people. But Ace Austin,
Absolutely. I can't argue that. Like I said, the only reason he's not on mine is because I put him in the tag team.
and we've only seen him in his singles type matches, and like I said, he's very comfortable in that single scenario. I think
definitely,
and I think he's definitely got the ability to do either.
Yeah. Before he tagged with Chris, he was a single star, and I was a big fan of him then also.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, just from my list, because he is currently clumped in as that, because those two individuals, both, they would have been on this list separately. Like Chris Bay and Ace Austin would have been on this list, but eventually I want to do a tag team, and they're going to be on that list.
Right.
So.
And she's got that. Who are the two Mexican boys who did the tag teaming? It was at Ryan Guys and at Wrestling Revolver.
What are they called?
Oh my God, I can't remember their names.
I can't either.
She loved it.
Oh yeah,
she loved it. And it's the two guys I got pictures with down at Ryan Guys.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I just can't remember the name.
But yeah, great.
I keep wanting to say Los Gringos Locos, but that's not what they are.
No. Great tag team. Great chemistry in the ring. They work really well off each other.
Latina's Most Wanted.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. And like I said, she loved that tag team, which I'm like, you know what? She's gravitating toward the guys who are really putting a lot of effort into what they do. Because that shows, even for somebody who's never been to a wrestling show, they can tell, holy crap, these guys have it together. These guys know what they're doing. And those guys are just pulling off stuff you don't see every day.
Yeah.
And they're doing it fluidly They're doing it with flair, and they're involving the crowd in everything they do, and that's a big part of wrestling.
I am so happy that the first show your daughter went to was a Pro Wrestling Revolver show and not a WWE or even AEW. I'm a big AEW, but for her to experience wrestling at the independent level first, that's how you make a fan.
And the thing is, I don't think she would have really went to an AEW show or WWE show, because by the time I bought tickets that, obviously would have been in my budget and I could afford, you'd been up there looking at basically what I call micro wrestlers at that point.
Yeah.
Because you're so far up that you don't understand. So, unless I've been to a Monday Night Raw. I was at a Monday Night Raw that was the Raw after WrestleMania because it came to Dayton. It was a great show, but I was already invested in all the characters. So, like, the fact I wasn't up by the ring and the fact that I was kind of back and off I was more or less up where they came out.
Right.
But kind of farther up in the stands type of area. It was still an impactful thing for me. It would not have been a good impactful thing for her on her first level. The fact that she went to that show where I would say it's probably a little more intimate just because of the size of the people, of the arena and the people that are there.
Yep.
And the fact that they're out in the crowd constantly and they were up where she was at, kind of in her face. I'm like, hey, stand up. We got to move. She's like, what? Oh, here we go. And next thing I know, her phone's out. She's taking video. It became an experience that she can't get at an AEW show. She can't get at a WWE show unless we're paying $600 a ticket to be right up front.
And even then, it's not going to be the same. Like
no, it's not.
You're going to be closer. You're going to see him, but the level of experience is the only word. Like to have to get up out of where you're sitting so that the wrestlers can literally pile driver each other right there. That.
Or you don't know if your chair's going to work when you go back to your seat. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing for her. Like we were sitting there looking at it, and she was like,
I love it.
I want to get one of those ring aprons next time. I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with that? I'll wrap it around my bed. Like, oh my God. Like on one hand, I'm like, this is awesome. On the other hand, I'm like, oh my God, I created a monster. But it's a monster I'm very willing to deal with at this point because it's a really cool thing. It's something her and I can share. And my youngest daughter will never. She's like, I don't want to go watch people even pretend to hurt each other. Dad, she has a very sensitive, like, great heart that she wouldn't want to go see that. But it, and of course, my other daughter, my oldest daughter, she's tomboy, so whatever, hit away, and there's different things I have to do with each one. It's a great thing to kind of bond with her on.
Yes. Yep. I'm so happy that you're able to do that. So.
She's at that fun age where it's a great time anyway.
Well, anytime that there's a Pro Wrestling Revolver show, I'll let you know. So.
Oh, she will Google once in a while just to see if they're coming back, right? Because now she wants to take her nephews and stuff on the next one. I'm like, hey, look, we got to plan farther out. I'm like, most of these things have kind of turned into spur of the moment, like right now things. But yeah, no, about every other week she's on Google. Oh, they haven't come back here yet. Oh, they're having. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, she's already semi scouting for tickets and times.
All right. Well, so your number 10 was Ace Austin. My number 10 is a man that you're probably not familiar with. Again, on the indie circuit, are you familiar with GCW at all? Have you watched any of the GCW stuff?
I have not.
Okay, another great promotion to check out if you ever get a chance.
I was looking through it. There's several in the Dayton area, dude.
Well, GCW is not in the Dayton area.
No, I understand.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But so my number 10, this band has picked up a set of bleachers, like a full set of bleachers, put it over his head and hurled it at an opponent. Like this man is strong as fuck, but he also can do a fucking 450, a moonsault, and all these other crazy things that normal big strong men can't do. His name is the Iron Demon Shane Mercer. He is on the higher end of the age on my list. He is 36 years old, but he would be a strong heel in my promotion, and he would be just straight up strong. Like I can have him go against my other bigger guys. I can have him go against my smaller guys. He's just phenomenal. I would probably have to have a talker with him because I haven't heard him do too much talking. Not saying that he can't. I just haven't heard much. So I might put a Paul Heyman-esque Brock Lesnar kind of deal, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so my number 10 is the Iron Demon Shane Mercer.
What was the number one thing that came up on Google when you put in Iron? Holy hell.
You find a picture of him?
Yeah, dude's big.
Yes, he is. Yeah. And he's got fucking... I don't know how else to.
There is a lot of YouTube videos on this boy too, so I'll be checking that out later.
You'll come across the video of him hurling the bleachers.
Like, yeah. This guy, when you said he's big, but he's not overly big, so I can see why he can still
Like
do
Powerhouse Hop next to him is
Right.
bigger than this guy, but
Right.
he's still he's strong as fuck.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I think he would be really fun to watch in a ring. I think.
That is probably the only one that I'm going to mention in my top 10 that you're not already familiar with.
Okay.
But I needed him in that list just because of the things I've seen him do, and like I said,
I mean, based on pictures, dude, he has that look.
Yes,
he has
that's
that
I don't-
main event look that
There
you're,
you go.
that you're
Yeah,
wanting.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I could definitely see.
Why
I mean,
he
I'm sure
hasn't-
he's probably main eventing where he's at.
oh yeah, definitely. Why he hasn't been picked up by one of the bigger promotions, I don't know. Maybe because he does like just some brutal shit, and WWE's not ready for it. But he's been on AEW like when they were doing AEW Dark and stuff, because they had GCW guys come in. So he's been there, but they never signed him. They never put him full.
I mean, man, when you look at it, like to get to a WWE AEW level, like the entrance is less than 1%. It's easier to get drafted in the NFL than it is to get into some of these promotions for the WWE, right? Because there's people who've never left, like WWE's training program, you know, as far as NXT. Like there's people who've never got out of NXT. They've never main evented. They've never made it to a Raw. They've never made it, you know, phenomenal in NXT. And you're going, why aren't they up on a main roster? I don't know how they go about those decisions in that situation. Because I have seen some of the people they have brought up from NXT that just literally, in my opinion, shit the bed when they got on Raw or SmackDown, right? Like they did not perform. They did not, you know, they were better at NXT than they were on a main roster. So I don't know how those processes work, but I do know it is extremely difficult unless you have somebody putting words in other people's ear.
Yeah.
People like, you know, of high influence, like, you know, Jericho, or, you know, guys who are behind the scenes like Jerry Lynn, or, you know, I think Taz is behind the scenes now at AEW. I mean, you know, these guys who've been in the ring, who can recognize, you know, that talent, and them putting bugs in people's ears don't always work either.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, just like, you know, thinking back now, it's like guys like Billy Gunn who are doing a lot of training to the new guys coming up. You know, there's a lot of guys out there who push these kids forward, and sometimes I wonder what they see when they do. You know, and a lot of that might not be because they didn't have talent; they just didn't know how to handle suddenly walking out in front of 80,000 people, 40,000 people.
Literally perspective though, because we're talking about Kenny Omega. You think Kenny's basically bland, and Kenny is one of the top wrestlers in the world.
I'm not going to say he's bland.
I know,
I just haven't decided on which side of the fence I'm going to land on with that. And he technically is very good.
Yeah.
I think I have a different wrestler on my list that I would say is technically better. That like he's one of the most technically sound wrestlers I've seen. Now he's a little bit lower on the list because I still think there's other things he can work on. But he is still one of the most technically sound wrestlers that I've ever seen in the ring. It's incredible, and other pro wrestlers who have retired have had the same opinion of this guy.
But you see what I'm saying, like,
Right.
as far as perspective, whoever is making the decision, they see something in somebody or they don't see it.
Right.
And I think that it's literally one, maybe two people in these bigger companies that it ultimately comes down to.
I
So-
have no doubt that there's not some gatekeeping going on in that industry.
Oh yeah.
You know, definitely some gatekeeping going on in that industry. But you know, it is the way the industry runs.
All right, number 9.
All right, so number 9 for me, this guy is what I would say technically probably starting to come into his twilight, but he's still, should I say, turns heads everywhere he goes, right? He was just in the middle of a bit of a controversy. I don't think he was ever pushed in the manner he should have been, but this guy has wrestled in TNA. This guy has wrestled in WWE. And everywhere he goes, he is not only recognizable, he's loved. So if you need that baby face that puts asses in the seats, for me, it's Ron Killings.
Oh,
R-Truth, K-Quick. The guy's mic work and what he can do, whether it's a comic style gimmick, whether it's now he's moving into a very serious kind of gimmick, and he's killing both right now. Like, he's absolutely just
No pun
owning.
intended.
Yeah, maybe pun intended. I don't know. He very much has a comedic to what he does. He's done a lot of really cool things, and crowds react to him. Crowds love Ron Killings. I personally am never disappointed when I see him come on screen. And I think if I was going to build a promotion around a recognizable face that, one, wouldn't kill my bank account starting one up, but two, would constantly keep money flow coming in, and I know that I could scale him up because of what he does, who he brings, what he knows in the ring. His athleticism is still there in the ring. Not quite as great as it was in the early days when he was with Road Dogg on that tag teaming, as far as when he came in as K-Quick, or when he was in TNA as Ron the True Killings, and everything he could compete with and do there. The man is just multifaceted. He's multi-talented. His mic work is solid. I wouldn't say it's top tier, but it's definitely solid. And the man knows how to work a crowd. So if you're in the crowd and he's in the ring, no one's going to have a bad time because it's R-Truth, man.
yeah. All right. Agree. Not on my list because of age. He would be the disqualifier for sure.
And I get it. Like I said, he is coming into that twilight era, but he's always been solid.
Oh yeah,
He's always been a solid
Not
competitor.
arguing with that at all. He's also
And,
one of my faves. I love
Like, he didn't make my top 10 favorite wrestlers list. He would be on that top 20.
it. Okay,
You know, so much respect for Ron the True Killings, man.
gotcha. So after I just said that, I think my number 10, Shane Mercer, was the only one you wouldn't be familiar with. I looked at my 9 and 8, and if you're not up to date on AEW, you may not know these. But my number 9 is a 29-year-old Japanese wrestler named Konosuke Takeshita. He is
That was a mouthful.
Konosuke Takeshita. He's a Japanese wrestler.
Okay. And they have been pulling a lot of guys from New Japan Wrestling
Yep.
over. I think they kind of have a deal where some of the guys go over
Yep.
there and then they bring them over here, which I think is great
Yes, sir.
because it gives them more exposure.
They have a great working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He started out in a promotion called DDT, I believe, over
Mm-hmm.
in Japan, where he met young Kenny Omega. So they've kind of had a history. And then when they brought Takeshita into AEW, kind of rehashed that and everything. But he's right now with Don Callis family. It's a stable in AEW. You know who Don Callis is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's... The only downfall is he doesn't speak the greatest English. He's obviously working on it. So that's why he's lower on my list. If he spoke perfect fucking English, he would probably be top 3 on my list because he is just that phenomenal in ring. His look is ridiculous. I've seen him play both face. He got over very, very quickly as a face, and then he turned this dastardly heel, and he's been phenomenal as heel.
Right.
So he can play both roles. I'm a big Takeshita fan.
But you know, when it comes to, and when I say what I'm about to say, I don't mean it in any way of disrespect, but when you're running that heel side, sometimes because we've seen a lot of wrestlers come over that didn't speak very good English. They're super phenomenal, super talented wrestlers. Sometimes not speaking English drives that heel character even farther,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of got to think about some of the Middle Eastern guys that would come over and they would say like 1 or 2 words in English and then just break off, and everybody's just kind of like, well, I don't know what he's saying, but it's got to be bad. So it kind of builds that, I guess, mystique around that heel character, right?
Yep.
Because we don't understand what he's saying because, you know, he would be speaking that over here. And let's face it, not a lot of us have gone on Duolingo to try to learn Japanese. But in my opinion, that can build that character to a whole nother level, you know, depending on, now if he's going to be a babyface, babyfaces have to connect to the crowd a lot more. And a translator, a lot of times a translator will drive a heel even farther. but you kind of have to do a different connect with the crowd. You kind of have to be able to speak like, the current language, it'd be like someone like, Kenny Omega going over. I don't think he speaks a lot of Japanese, but it'd be
He does.
Fluently?
Fluent Japanese. Yeah.
Okay.
When he went over there as a young boy, he picked up Japanese. Yes.
So that would be cool then. So so he has the ability to connect to the crowd on that other level then, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, especially on the heel run, and like I said, I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but that actually can build, in my opinion, a character way better.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
I completely agree with everything you just said. Surprisingly, when he came in as a babyface, there wasn't really no English whatsoever, and he still got over like super fucking quick with the crowd.
See, that just speaks to his ability in the ring, which is freaking phenomenal, man.
Exactly. Yes.
Like
exactly.
If you can tell that story in the ring and not be able to effectively communicate with the crowd, your ring skills are on another level.
Yep.
And if that guy can pull that off, because that's not an easy feat to do, even as an entertainer or even as a wrestler. Like, just having your work, because usually it's a twofold process. You have to have the mic skills and the in-ring work, and he could pull that off without the mic skills.
Yep,
that's phenomenal.
Exactly, that's
phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying. Now, also, I mean, it may have small percentage to do with AEW fans are what you would call smart wrestling fans, not their intelligence wise, but just about wrestling. Okay, so WWE, seriously, this is a true thing, whether you want to know it or not, to realize it or not. WWE fans, I hit a button on the roadcaster, that scared me. WWE fans are closed-minded fans, like they're WWE or nothing. They only know WWE. They don't know anything outside of WWE.
I kind of get that in a way.
Not all of them, but the majority of it. And that's what Vince McMahon did. He intended that to happen, and he
kind of created a cult type atmosphere with that. Like it's this or nothing.
Exactly. But then there are other fans, like I would consider myself, who I know WWE, but I also ventured out to learn New Japan and ROH, AEW now, and all these independent promotions. So that's why my knowledge is broader, is because that's what AEW fans typically are.
Now, see,
they are those smart fans.
I was a hardcore WWE fan, right? Now, this was back during the Attitude Era.
As
this was back when you had
I was too.
Stone Cold, The Rock, DX. Like, I mean, holy shit, my daughter's in the process of doing a DX tattoo. Like, in my opinion, greatest faction that ever walked the face of the earth, okay? But I also knew what was going on in WCW. I also knew what was going on in Mexico. I was a massive fan of ECW, right? Like Paul Heyman, that whole promotion, Just Incredible, Sandman. Like Sandman was kind of the original Stone Cold. He was kind of doing that before Stone Cold did Stone Cold, right? I mean, we're talking about Sabu. We're talking about Tommy Dreamer. Rob Van Dam started in ECW. Jerry Lynn, one of the best matches of all time that people don't even remember. Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam in ECW. One of the greatest matches I think I've ever seen, right? And people don't realize Jerry Lynn wrestled in ECW. They don't see him the way I see him.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, AEW is, or ECW, AEW, AC. Wow, there's a lot of acronyms here. I'm messing up. But it's like, now that I have the ability to jump into AEW, I want to jump into AEW, right? Because there's a lot of incredible things happening over there. And you kind of, if you're a wrestling fan, you're missing out on a lot.
Yep.
I haven't attended a lot of independent shows, especially not like you. August will be my third, quite honestly. But
in a span of 2 months, just want to point it out.
In a span of 2 months. But like, let's be legit. Like, what I'm seeing there is not that far off of what I'm already seeing on TV. And in my opinion, because of the size of the crowd there, it's a higher quality product in a way. Not that they're
goes back
doing,
to experience, like we talked about earlier.
They're not doing anything that's topping what's going on TV. I'm not taking anything away from those guys. But you're seeing the hunger, right?
Yes.
Of wanting to make it. And it makes for a much better show. It's kind of like people that watch, AA and AAA baseball, because those guys are trying to make the major leagues, right? And you'll see some of the most incredible plays you've ever seen in some of those games that you're not going to see when the Dodgers take on the Braves.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like some of the college
analogy.
basketball. You're going to see stuff in college basketball that you're not going to see in the NBA because these guys are trying to get noticed. And it's incredible all the way around. But yeah, if you're a wrestling fan, don't be afraid to branch away from your favorite brand.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go back and watch the guys who paved the way for the guys who are doing what you're doing now, because you're going to miss out on some of the most incredible moments in wrestling history. Like, it still shocks me when I run across a wrestling fan who still has not seen The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in the first Hell in a Cell match, who still haven't seen The Undertaker and Mankind in the second Hell in a Cell match. Like, how? How have you not watched? You know, I mean, and I get there's people just watch what's current.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan and you hear about matches like this, how do you not go look them up? I mean, pretty much just YouTube it. It's there. If you have, you know, Netflix, most of it's there.
Yeah.
You have Peacock, all of it's there. You have between those two. If you're going just based on WWE, which now has WCW and ECW on it as well, because obviously McMahon was starting to monopolize it all.
Yeah.
All the backlog's there. There's almost well, I don't know where to find it. In the menu, you know, I mean,
YouTube has everything. Also, let's be real.
I mean, yeah,
You can
I
find
mean,
everything
if
on YouTube.
not, I mean, YouTube's pretty much got, you know, at least the highlight reel, at least see what these guys went through and what they did.
There's a big debate, or not debate, I guess, but it's always brought up when the ratings and WWE versus AW, whatever. The casual fan, that's what wrestling needs, is more casual fan. The casual fan is the one that's not going to go and look and research the old matches.
Right.
The casual fan is the one that's not going to look at other promotions and be like, oh, what is this DDT promotion? Let's watch this. Casual fans don't do that. Casual fans are going to watch whatever's on television, the main product, and that's it. So I don't know what the big deal about casual fucking fans are. I think we need more fans like you and I, more fans like Chloe. That's what wrestling needs, are fans like that, and not this other mentality of WWE is best and everything else sucks, or, oh, I'm not going to watch that old shit. Why do I need to watch the Because that's why.
There's a lot of talent that WWE, in my opinion, overlooked that is making AEW bigger, better, because they're being utilized properly. And
I've got a couple on my list coming up.
when you get a big promotion like WWE, they're going to stick with the big guys they have.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be scrambling because a lot of these guys are about ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to think about, Cena,
You don't like Cena, do you?
he's ran past his prime, in my opinion. I don't think he's a bad wrestler.
Hey.
Dude, he is connected with fans, millions upon millions. He's one of the most requested Make-A-Wish wrestlers. I mean, the guy has done a lot of great
He's
stuff.
helping your boy R-Truth out right now, too.
But, like, Orton doesn't have a lot longer. Dude, I'm a huge Orton fan. Let's be real. R-Truth doesn't have a lot longer. And what are they left with? You're left with Roman Reigns. You're left with...
That's harking back to one of our first episodes. You're not a big Roman Reigns fan
Not
either?
a huge Roman Reigns fan either. Seth Rollins, which, don't get me wrong, they get the pops out of the crowd, but are they going to reach that superstardom level that, like, Randy achieved? You know, and a lot of people now see Randy as who he is in the ring, right? I remember the legend killer Randy. I remember the guy who came out of nowhere all the time, just the straight beast that Randy was. Like, Randy in his prime, I would put him up against anybody, anywhere, in any promotion, and you got a fight on your hands. I mean, you got a legit wrestling fight on your hands, right? I don't see that in these guys coming up. I don't see that same kind of killer instinct that we got out of the legend killer, that we got out of, early Cena when he was kind of transitioning out of that thugonomics into the you can't see me era, where he was just going, you don't see that instinct you had out of like Kurt Angle and some of these other guys.
Love Kringle.
There was a different attitude about how they went about it, and that you kind of, now it's kind of a, oh, I'm here, this is my family, I should be the best in the business. No, dude, like, your family wasn't the best in the business because they were a third generation wrestler. It's because they bust their ass and made themselves a superstar, right? Like, I mean, you think about The Rock. You have High Chief Maivia, great wrestler, ran his own promotion. put a lot of guys we know on the map, right? His dad, Rocky Johnson, great wrestler. The Rock eclipsed both of them
Oh yeah.
because he put it out there. Dude, does anybody remember The Rock's first match? Like, dude looked like a fucking pinata going to the ring. And do you remember he climbed in the ring with Jake the Snake Roberts, who made him look like a superstar that night? And he was off and running, right? Like, you know, people forget that The Rock used to go to the ring to chants of Rocky sucks. They hated him for the longest time.
Yeah.
And he took that and created The Rock. Like one of the greatest of all time that steps in the ring. So,
Agreed.
I mean, there's a lot that goes behind it, and I'm not 100% sure that we're seeing that same drive out of Roman. He's kind of just, well, this is my family, you know, I'm great because I came out of that family. That's semi part of the attitude I get out of that guy.
Okay.
I know. I'm minority on a lot of this stuff, but
It's the ball's in your court. Number 9.
number
We talked a lot about my number 9.
No. Number 9 for me was Ron Killings.
Okay, so number 8 then.
So number 8. Claudio Castagnoli.
Okay.
All right, so this is the guy I told you is probably the most technically sound wrestler I've seen in the ring. The stuff, like what he does that he pulls off with precision is amazing. It's phenomenal.
And it's definitely one that WWE dropped the ball on.
Stone Cold has made this comment on his podcast. I don't know how many times. The kid is like one of the most technically sound wrestlers he's ever seen. The Undertaker has made the same comment. If you're getting a comment like that from The Undertaker, I'm going to say that that's really high praise. But at the same point in time, guys like Booker T, Shawn Michaels have all said, we messed up not utilizing him better. The guy has a look. The guy is phenomenally sound in the ring. And he's not bad on a mic either.
And deceivingly strong.
Very, very strong dude.
Yeah.
He has it. He just needs a chance to take that and run. And I'm not sure what AEW is doing with him, especially in the early years. Maybe it's going to change farther into this I go. Because right now he's in a faction, so to speak. And I love the other two guys in the faction, don't get me wrong. You've got Christopher Daniels and you got Cesarian.
Cesarian?
No. Not Cesarian. What is the other guy's name? That's going to drive me nuts now.
I'm not sure at what part of AEW
Or is it Kaz?
You're on. Yes, if you're talking about SCU, which is Christopher Daniels and Kaz.
Okay, so Christopher Daniels
Frankie
and Kaz.
Kazarian.
Frankie Kazarian. And he's kind of been mixed in with them a little bit.
Okay, you're early on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm early on. So not... That's a great faction. You have 3 phenomenal wrestlers sitting there. But, you know, like I said, Claudio is, in my opinion, kind of the shining example. Christopher Daniels will never be... They need to go back and give him the Fallen Angel gimmick again from TNA because that was where he was really kind of pulled that
I got some
off.
spoilers for you. Christopher Daniels is done with in-ring talent. He's just doing backstage agent stuff and that kind of thing.
And I get that.
Very great. Very good in that role as well.
And I think
He just
Daniels
recently
could probably
retired. So.
scout talent very well, actually, because you know he's been in the ring a lot of years.
Frankie Kazarian moved on from AEW. He ended up actually back in TNA, so he's wrestling with TNA now, I believe. And Claudio went on to win the Ring of Honor World Championship. He lost it, and he is now in a faction with Jon Moxley, and they are like running AEW pretty much right now. So,
As they should.
yeah, okay.
But
But
if I'm going to be in a faction, Jon Moxley is a great guy to have in that faction with you. So
Claudio is phenomenal. Yes, not on my list, but phenomenal. Number 8, we talked a lot about Randy Orton, and I said Randy Orton is probably top 3 favorite wrestlers of all time for me, but not on my list because of age. However, this man resembles Randy Orton. He is a 26-year-old from Australia named Kyle Fletcher. He started out in a group with Will Ospreay, which I know you're familiar with Will Ospreay, and Mark Davis. They were called Aussie Open. They have since now split up, and Kyle Fletcher is part of the Don Callis family with my number 9, Konosuke Takeshita. But Kyle Fletcher, you just have to see him. He's got the look. He's got the wrestling ability. He's good on the mic with his Australian accent and some of the things he says. Phenomenal in-ring work. So Kyle Fletcher, I think if I were to go out tomorrow and start a promotion, if he wasn't on my promotion, I am a failure. He needs to be on my promotion. So
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I'm not familiar with him. So
that's the last one
I'm
that you
kind of take your word for it in
that's
that aspect.
the last one you won't be familiar with, I promise.
But I mean, hey, it's good because now I have people to go back and I can dive deeper into this a little bit now as far as where we're going.
When you get later on in AEW, you'll start seeing them and you'll be like, oh.
Cool. So that brings us to number 7.
Yes.
My number 7, they've already built a promotion around this guy. And so I know it can be done. And I know he has turned into that superstar. Massive fan of not only this man, but his entire family. All right. In my opinion, his dad is one of the greatest wrestlers to pick up a microphone. And I'm talking about none other than Cody Rhodes, right? The American Nightmare. He plays the opposite of the American Dream that his dad had, and it's working phenomenally well for him. I've always said he was more talented than certain promotions gave him credit for or pushed him to be. If I was going to build one tomorrow, when you have charisma, in-ring ability, and mic skills, Cody Rhodes is top notch on almost all 3.
And he has a hot fucking wife.
And Brandy goes where Cody goes, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk about that entire family,
Yeah.
the talent, and I'm not taking anything away from Dustin. Definitely would never take anything away from Dusty. That whole family is a dynasty, in my opinion. And, rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes. But yeah, those boys are definitely, in my opinion, surpassing their dad. And he laid that foundation for them to build on, and they've done phenomenal work. Cody essentially, in my opinion, built AEW with, obviously
Big part of it.
The help of what the guys did. But I don't think AEW would be as big as they were now if Cody wasn't doing what Cody did.
Huge part of it.
So right. And I'm not taking any credit away from the other wrestlers, but I think Cody was that instrumental in what happened there. And just in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Cody was able to do what not many other wrestlers would have been able to done in that situation. So just from the experience and what the man can do all the way around, Cody Rhodes, I think if you're building a promotion, you're not going to go wrong if Cody Rhodes agrees to help,
Agreed. That was your number 7, right?
That was my numeral 7.
Okay. I got a few things I want to say about Cody, and then let's do our first Marry Fuck Kill. Also, I don't think we're going to record a second podcast today. I think we're just going to.
There's a very good possibility.
That's okay.
Folks, this is going to run long. We're talking about something we're passionate about, and I know there's a lot of people like, this is the dumbest fucking thing to be passionate about. I could say the same thing about 100 other sports out there, right? And it's not that I live and breathe and my whole house is decked out in wrestling paraphernalia. I have, hockey paraphernalia because I'm a hockey fan. And we all have those things we're passionate about. Unfortunately, we just have, about 40 million other people across the world that are passionate about it as well. Like I said, I could probably do a wrestling podcast just
100%.
Alone.
I could as well.
But
I like to mix it up, though. No.
Mixing it up is good. I like talking about a variety of different topics.
We're probably going to do a lot of wrestling.
But these are part of. This is probably a big part of my fandom and Nate's fandom. Even though I think his entire love and fandom is definitely split between basketball and wrestling. Probably I'd say at least 50-50 right there. So I can't say anything against it.
Right. So back to Cody. A few things not on my list, but definitely
blasphemy.
Definitely one of my top 10 wrestlers of all time.
I think Cody made both of our top 10s if I'm not mistaken, or he was definitely mentioned many times in that list, several times
on the mic list. We haven't done a top 10. We got to do that as the top 10 just all time favorite. You see, there you go.
That'd be rough.
Okay.
That'd be rough. Oh
but
my God, that'd be rough.
He's not on my list.
Uh-huh.
Again, it just goes back to age, and I'm trying to get the newer, maybe lesser known, and build them up kind of thing. So that's why he's not on mine. But phenomenal in-ring talent, phenomenal on the mic. I wouldn't say phenomenal. He's really good on the mic. In comparison to his father, he's not phenomenal. So, okay. Anyways, love Cody to death. I've met him. Great person. Also, a little quick story. There's when he was on the Independents, he was in Ring of Honor. He was Ring of Honor champion for a very long time. He was part of the Bullet Club. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Marty Scurll, the Villain, Hangman Page.
Really quickly, shout out to the Young Bucks. Those guys do some phenomenal work.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they're for the quote-unquote smaller guys in wrestling. Those guys, I do enjoy watching. They're very entertaining.
Mark Harp does not like to hear this, just so you know.
You don't see a lot of love given to the smaller guys in wrestling. You know what I mean? And those guys.
When you say smaller stature, or you?
Okay, like, so when you think about your traditional wrestler, you're thinking of a big bulked up guy,
Okay, you're
a guy
talking about
who,
stature.
like just stature and physique. These are kind of like what I would call the X division guys of like TNA in a little bit, or what you would call cruiserweights as far as that would go. And those guys never really got big pushes. And these two guys, love them or hate them, but when they come out and they go to the ring, people take notice, and that speaks something to the skill and what they do in the ring.
They are millionaires on merch sales alone. That's why I was like, are you talking about stature or popularity? Because
No, I'm not bringing the popularity in. The popularity just kind of brings into their ability to connect with the crowd. Yeah. They are a little gimmicky, but I can name other like tag teams and factions that are way higher gimmicky that annoy me. I'm like New Day. Let's just be real.
Really?
They annoy the piss.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
New Day.
It got old for me so fast.
Okay.
And like they just took the gimmicky part of it way too far, in my opinion. I mean, they're not good wrestlers or whatnot, but my whole thing was just shout out to the Young Bucks because they're doing very well for where they're at, and they're putting in the work, and I can see they're putting in the work, and their in-ring chemistry. Phenomenal. They're always aware of where each other are. They're always aware of what's about to go down. And their timing for their team moves, spot on. I just, those guys are doing great work.
Well, spoiler alert again. We'll do a tag team list of, like this, and they'll be on mine. Okay. So, yes, shout out Young Bucks. Back to the reason you brought that up.
Sorry.
So, there's a store in Chicago called Pro Wrestling Tees. Mm-hmm. The independent circuit made it kind of big because they were doing all of the shirts and merch for all of the...
Mm-hmm. Stone Cold's got a couple of shirts on there.
Yeah, well, now he does. Yeah. But back then, it was just the independent stuff. Now it's bigger, yeah. So it's a huge store. Anyways, they would have signings and stuff there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they had the Bullet Club in.
Nice.
We went to Chicago, but we weren't able to get there for the signing. But we still wanted to go to the store because every time we go to Chicago, we go frequent the store or whatever. The Bullet Club, at that time I said, was Cody, Hangman, Villain, Young Bucks.
And Kenny
Omega. They were leaving, getting ready, like literally had their suitcases, dragging them out to put them in the back of the limo or whatever. Mm-hmm. Me, my two boys, my daughter, and my wife were crossing the street, and I saw them. I don't like to go up to celebrities or anybody and bother them, especially when they're just trying to leave.
Right.
My wife...
you always hear him complain about that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But still, I'm not that person. Like, my wife, however, she's like, I can't miss this opportunity because she knew how much of a fucking Cody fan I was, a Bullet Club, period fan.
Right.
So she went up to him and said, hey, can my husband and kids get a quick picture with you? One of them rolled their eyes. I can't remember which one it was. But they all said, yeah. And Cody was like, yes, absolutely. He had the ROH championship on his shoulder. I was wearing an American Nightmare shirt. He was like, I love your shirt.
That's probably why he agreed so fast.
Maybe, I don't know. But I got a picture with all of them and my two boys and my daughter or whatever. And then I had it canvassed and I have it. It's one of my top memories of my life. And part of it is Cody Rhodes. So I just wanted to throw that in there because you mentioned him. So I had to say that. And then I more on Cody. They dropped the ball with him in WWE originally.
I agree.
100%, yes. I did, however, really, really enjoy Stardust. I know a lot of people didn't. I know Cody himself hated the Stardust thing.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I loved Stardust. I thought it was great. Champion, great, probably not. But when he left WWE, he went on the indie circuit, got big. Went to New Japan, ROH, joined the Bullet Club, huge, brought him to a whole new level. All In, that's the pay-per-view that the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny all put on themselves. Like before AEW was a thing, they put on this pay-per-view, and I was there. It was awesome. But at that pay-per-view, Cody faced Nick Aldis, which was the then NWA champion.
Right.
He's now, I believe, like a backstage person for WWE. But Nick Aldis had the NWA championship for a very, very long time. And it was him versus Cody. That fucking arena was electric. Like, that match was crazy good, but a lot of it just had to do with the crowd. We were all on our feet the whole fucking time. It was amazing. Cody won.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
probably, if I had to say that's what made Cody. I think it was that. Like, he was big already. He'd already went up, but that right there, WWE had to have seen that at that
It was
point.
shortly after that AEW,
And then shortly after
was
that,
a
AEW.
thing.
Yep. And then
and I think that particular pay-per-view was a turning point that allowed AEW to come to fruition.
oh yeah,
And you know, like I said, once again, goes back to my statement of Cody, in my opinion, built that company. And it's just because of what he could do. It's because his talent was finally really recognized. And I've said it all along. Wrestlers who've gone to New Japan and have spent time in like New Japan and Ring of Honor are instrumentally better on the bigger shows because of going to places like New Japan and because of going to places like Ring of Honor and the indie circuits. They've not only refined their skills, but you can kind of see the different culture and how Japan wrestles, how Mexico wrestles, that kind of blend in with what they got, and it makes them a more unique, standout performer. And I can see some of that stuff in Cody that he picked up over in New Japan. I can see some of that stuff in Cody where he realized, look, man, wrestling's still fun, wrestling's still a show, and I can still push some limits that he would have done in like Ring of Honor on the indie circuit. And it's almost like a reset. I think when certain wrestlers get to a point, they need to take 6-7 months and go back down to where those guys are, because it kind of gives them a refresh. It gives them an ability to go, holy shit, stuff's still getting done down here that we need to be doing up there. And I can go back and be a much better performer after working with these guys who are hungry again, right? Because a lot of those guys at the top kind of forget how to be hungry when they go out to the ring, you know. As much as I hate to say it, you know, because I love this guy. I followed him his whole career, but Jericho's kind of slipping into that, riding my fame. But he also has, you know, his band and everything else. Like he's earned every bit of fame he's got. But he's also kind of approaching that twilight, but it's just not the same Jericho. You know what I'm saying?
I could argue that he uses his fame and his
He's his
ranking,
fame and his status.
Status to get the new guys over. Again, a little spoiler alert. Eventually, if you're continuing to watch all of the AEW episodes, you're going to come to a match where it's Chris Jericho versus a new guy named Action Andretti. Just remember that name, Action Andretti. That's all I'm going to say.
And you know, Jericho's always been willing to put guys over.
Yeah.
Like it's not that he's not willing to put guys over. He always has kind of had a mind for, look, when I'm gone, there's got to be guys that can take my place, you know, type thing. It's just there was a difference between what I'm seeing Jericho in AEW and what I saw from Jericho like 5 years ago, you know, 6 years ago before he went into AEW. And I realized he's been there for a while. But
he's a day one.
Jericho's not necessarily. There's a big difference between Jericho's a heel and Jericho's a babyface.
Well, yeah,
There
should be.
You know, I agree.
Oh.
But I have always enjoyed Jericho more as a babyface than a heel, even though I think he plays a heel perfectly to a degree. Because that man will play that heel if he's walking to his car or if he's in the ring. Like when he's a heel, he's committed to playing that heel. Or in the same way, if he's a babyface, he'll stop 50 times on the way to his car to take a picture with a fan, right? If he's a heel, fuck you and your picture. And because he wants to create that real image of, oh my God, he's just legit an asshole, right? You know, because he's going to commit to that character. And that's something that I love about Jericho. You know, like he might be at a signing event, but he's still going to be kind of an asshole to you if he's playing that heel part, right? But in a way, that's kind of what you want. You want that Jericho. I've just always enjoyed his babyface runs probably more than his heel runs, and I know he enjoys playing a heel more than he enjoys playing the babyface. It's just the difference. It's the two sides of Jericho.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember why that was brought up, but let's get into the first Mary Fuck Kill. Should we do the cards or should we just do wrestlers? Which would you prefer to do here? We can do the
yeah, let's do the cards so we kind of break the monotony of the
that
subject a
sounds
little
fun.
bit.
Watch it be a wrestler.
I'll laugh my ass off if we pull this off, man.
Well,
If we pull off a wrestler, it'd be hilarious.
We'll do the left, right, behind the back. All right, go ahead.
All right, left.
I'm willing to bet it's the guys because you always pick the
I
guys.
don't know.
Hey,
Hey, look at that.
you
We
picked the women
we have
this time.
finally seriously broke the monotony.
And the three are Trish Stratus, Lita. No, I'm just kidding. Gwyneth Paltrow,
Okay.
Reese Witherspoon, Selena Gomez.
Wow. All right. Wow. Let's go with. It's not good options either way. Because I kind of like all three of those women. So, all right. So based on your priority of list, we're killing Gwyneth Paltrow because let's face it, she's a bit older. I'll take the night with Reese Witherspoon, and we're marrying Selena.
So age, you're killing Gwyneth. What's the other two? Why one, not the other?
Well, Reese Witherspoon's getting up there too. So
Okay.
we'll just we'll give her the night, and Selena Gomez is talented in her own right, and I just would feel bad killing her off, I guess.
Well, I am not like overly attractive to any of these three. They're all still hot. I'm not saying they're not, but they're just not up my alley.
They're kind of all in the same category for me, right?
Kind of,
You know?
yeah.
Like there's not one standout over the rest, but all of them beautiful women in their own right.
Yeah. I think I'm actually going to kill Selena Gomez. Wasn't she with Bieber? Wasn't that?
Yeah, but here's the thing. The reason I can't kill Selena Gomez is, and this is going to make you feel bad probably. Some people know, some people don't know. I had a niece that died right after she turned 3. She had something called vascular malformation. So essentially she had all the veins in her head grew so large it was shoving her brain into the front of her skull. By the time she got to 3 years old, she had 9 brain surgeries. She lived with us for quite a while. So we were at all of her surgeries, countless nights in the hospital between, my sister, my wife, myself. And it was one of those situations where we knew that everything we did was to help her and make her comfortable, but she wasn't going to outlive this. We were told that from the very beginning. The brain surgeon who did all the surgeries actually found out that there was a doctor in France who had the longest living child with it. That doctor passed away, but he got a hold of all that doctor's notes, got them translated, and studied them for her case. And at the time of her death, she was the longest living child with that condition. She was a huge Disney kid. And her two favorite things to watch was Phineas and Ferb and Tinkerbell. And Selena Gomez sang one of the songs on a Tinkerbell movie that kind of became her favorite. So I'm not killing Selena.
Well, this is the inappropriate part of the podcast. Way to just make me feel inappropriate at this point.
If that doesn't guilt you a little bit for killing her off. So even though, yes, she was with Bieber, I would still,
Well, tell what? No, I'm going to kill her so that she can meet her. How about that? How about that? Yeah.
The Make-A-Wish we never knew
There
happened.
you go. I just did Make-A-Wish. Selena Gomez, I'm offing you so that you can go meet, what's her name?
My niece's name was Amber Lynn.
So Selena Gomez is being killed so she can go meet Amber Lynn. And then that leaves me with Gwyneth
I
Paltrow.
guess nice recovery. I don't know.
That leaves me with Gwyneth Paltrow and Reese Witherspoon. This is unfortunate. They both kind of annoy me. Like, I don't know that I can marry. I would fuck both of them. Don't, like I said, they're still pretty.
Yeah, but I mean,
they
Gwyneth Paltrow
both
was an
kind
Iron
of-
Man, you know.
Yeah, and she was annoying. And Reese Witherspoon's annoying. Like, one of their voices annoy me. I can't remember which one it is, but so I'm basically just going to do the behind the back on this one, and you're going to choose right or left, and that's the one I'm going to marry. So right or left, sir.
So right, because we went left last time.
All right, I'm marrying Reese Witherspoon, and I guess I'm going to just fuck Gwyneth Paltrow, and that's how we're doing that one.
It's not a terrible run, I guess.
All right.
Number 6.
No, I'm still on my number 7. Remember,
Oh, that's
I
right,
split
okay.
it up. Okay. I hope you know who this person is, because I said definitely will know the rest of them. I feel like you should know who this is. He's 32 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He made his name in New Japan as well.
Okay.
He is currently with AEW. Unfortunately, he keeps getting hurt. But when he is healthy, this man is amazing. Switchblade Jay White.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
good.
okay. For a small second, I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
Where? Where'd you think I was going?
I just took a different name all the way around.
I know, but who? You didn't.
Was it Shinsuke Nakamura?
He would be on this list, but age-wise, that's I kept him off.
Because I know he was played with injuries for a while. Huge over in New Japan.
Oh, I love Shinsuke.
And phenomenal wrestler all the way around. And I hope I didn't butcher his name because I really try not to mess up wrestlers' names.
Shinsuke Nakamura. I can say that much better than Kanosuke Takeshita.
But you still slow down to get it right. So I respect that all the way around. But yeah, because I know he's been plagued with a lot of injuries over the years. But once again, phenomenal wrestler. But like I said,
Yep.
I understand where you went with that as well. Great guy. So
Switchblade Jay White. He was also part of Bullet Club.
Yes. And there's a lot of people that's kind of floated in and out of that faction. And I'm calling them a faction at this point because,
Oh, yeah,
in my
they're
opinion,
100%,
that's what they've made. And
They are a conglomeration of NWO and DX together. That is what Bullet Club is. It is. You take those two and they had a baby, Bullet Club came out.
And, it's one of those indie factions that got bigger, in my opinion, than the indie promotions they were in itself.
Oh, yeah.
There was a point in time where I couldn't walk down the street without seeing a Bullet Club shirt. I started looking into who they were because I got tired of seeing the fucking shirts, if you want the truth. I'm like, who the fuck has all... I mean, I worked with a guy who used to come into work wearing a Bullet Club shirt. I'm like, what the fuck is the Bullet Club? You don't know the Bullet Club? I'm like,
Bullet Club for
And
life.
it was just kind of one of those things. I eventually started looking into it because of all the merch I was seeing on it. And, that tells you... That speaks volumes to something that, people are starting to look it up because they don't know what it was.
Again, that has to do with the Young Bucks. They were part of it, and they got them into Hot Topic. So,
And I mean, there's a lot of, once again, exposure is everything in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have something like that, and let's be honest, really well designed logo, and it looks good all the way around. And when they can back that up with their performance, and then you got that many people on board, to where other people are going, what the fuck is this? And then they have to start looking it up. That's where you want it to be.
exactly. Yep.
And those
Mission accomplished.
those guys did a great job in what they did.
Yeah.
So,
And it's still going, too. Whole different iteration, but it's still going.
oh, I'm sure that'd be something that'd be very difficult to kill off, especially when you can revolve in and out.
Yep.
Members that can still uphold the standard of what it was and is.
Now you're on your number 6.
Now I'm on my number 6. All right, so number 6. This is a guy who was in WWE for a while. In fact, he kind of broke into that market. He is from Cincinnati. In fact, was talking to a funny story. I was talking to a guy. There was a guy that used to work for me at the retail store that I managed, and he was talking about how his son managed a grocery store. This wrestler worked for his son, but was constantly calling off to go to indie shows and to try and pull this off. And eventually the manager went, dude, look, what do you want to do? And he's like, I want to be a pro wrestler. He goes, then for the love of fucking God, go be a pro wrestler. Cashed out all his PTO to give him money and helped him get a plane ticket to, I believe it was Florida at the time. And he got into the training program for WWE, ended up on TV. He's now in AEW, and they are utilizing him, in my opinion, way better than anything else. But I remember his catchphrase and how they announced him was he was the Lunatic Fringe, which, by the way, is a catchphrase from a radio station in Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. And this guy has blown up bigger than ever. I love the guy. I love his in-ring work. I like his mic work. You know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Jon Moxley.
Yep.
And the guy has just been phenomenal, I think, everywhere he went. He was in the original Shield. He was my favorite member of the original Shield. And this guy's just not afraid to take it to another level. And that stands out. That truly stands out that guy is committed the way he is. You can tell he loves what he does. And that speaks volumes.
100% agree. Not on my list for various reasons. But 100% agree with everything that you just said.
I mean, I honestly think you could build a promotion around John.
Oh, you can.
I honestly
you can.
think that, and like I said, there would have been different people on this list, but I don't know if they're still active, and that's the problem. Like, I don't know if you remember Abyss.
He is backstage. You can ask me questions. I know, like, ridiculous amount. He is a backstage agent, talent agent for WWE. Okay. I do remember Abyss. A real quick story about that too. I met him. He is local. He's
from Cincinnati too.
Yeah.
Like when I drove for Schwann's, I used to go to his parents' house. I was absolutely shocked. Like he was not there when I was there. He was always on the road with TNA. But good Lord, man, Chris's mom is such a sweetheart, and his dad's cool as hell. And like their whole house is just pretty much dedicated to him and what he's done. I loved him in the ring, though. He had such a great character.
Agreed. I didn't go to his house or anything, but in 10th grade, I was part of the newspaper. I wrote for the newspaper. Mm-hmm. Me and my buddy, we wrote wrestling columns. NWF was a local promotion, and Abyss was wrestling under the name Prince Justice. I went to one of their shows,
right,
and I interviewed him to write an article for the paper.
Nice.
So yeah, that's just, I was like, yeah.
I mean, that's super cool
yes,
that, you know
Abyss.
He sat down for a kid at a school paper and whatnot.
It was
awesome.
awesome.
I mean, that's really cool. And so, side jog on that, when we went down to Rheingeist, my daughter couldn't go because suddenly it was, they wouldn't let anyone in. Mm-hmm. And I got kind of an autograph and was talking to one of the wrestlers, got a picture with him, and I told him, yeah, my daughter really couldn't be here. He literally recorded a message for my daughter, that, hey, he's like, hey, Chloe, I'm sorry you couldn't be here. I will be back. I have to be back up here. I love this part of town. I'm coming back. You got to come see me next time type deal. Didn't have to. Could have told me to fuck off, but he did it. He was super cool about it. And if you want the truth, that kind of made a big difference in Chloe jumping into wrestling. Good. Because these guys are doing stuff like that, right? These guys are like, yeah, man, I record a message for your kid. Absolutely. Don't worry about it. He's like, oh, you're writing for your school paper. I mean, fuck it, whatever. Sit down. Let's go. I'll do it. These guys take those moments for fans, and that's that experience I'm talking about,
And I will never forget that, and I'm sure she'll never forget that.
Oh, absolutely not. But these are the things that create wrestling fans. When you're like, I don't understand how you can do this or how you can watch this, it's because of moments like this. Moments where these guys take 1 or 2 minutes out of their day and leave that lasting impression on somebody. That, this guy was in the ring, like he's up there, he's doing this, and then he took time to talk to me. He took time to say hey to me. I got a picture with him. One of the other guys at the Ryan Guy show that I ended up taking a picture with and everything else, and just kind of talked to him. I was wearing a Kevin Smith shirt from one of the movies. He recognized it. We had like a 10-minute conversation about Kevin Smith and the movies, and sitting there and which movies we liked the most.
Which one was that?
It was Jackson. Action
Okay.
Jackson. Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being at the Wrestling
Crash
Revolver
Jackson.
show. Crash Jackson, my bad. He ended up being at the Wrestling Revolver shows, Remix Champion and everything. Like, super cool guy. But the fact that, he looked at me, I know that shirt. If you hadn't seen, Clerks 2, you wouldn't have known that shirt. You just would have thought it was some weird comedic shirt I was wearing, like some oddball freaking off-topic shirt. But obviously, he knew that right away. We had that, slight connection, that conversation, just on a human level, not a wrestling level.
Yeah.
But it still meant something.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super
love to hear
cool when
things
you,
like
when you
that.
do. Yeah, I mean, it's just, obviously it wasn't the Bullet Club outside of a T-shirt, place and, anywhere else. But, at the same point in time.
I would say that's more of a connection than
But it's those interactions that mean something to people who are there, and that's why wrestling fans are wrestling fans, right? And that connection can happen by what's just going on in the ring, because not every single person that's a wrestling fan has had an interaction with a wrestler,
right. It's not as many as you would
but
think.
it's still, the connection's still made.
Yeah.
And it's just, for guys like us, who I'd say, you've seen those iceberg videos on like YouTube and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, are you talking like when we did the conspiracy thing and I watched the iceberg conspiracy video?
Right. So the farther down you go,
that's
the
the only
crazier
one
it
I
gets.
watched, but yes.
So you're familiar with,
Yeah.
So I would say like guys like us, fans like us, we're kind of below the water. So, I mean, we kind of go out of our way, for those interactions and things like that. But that's how you create that deeper fan, is by those interactions, by a wrestler going, yeah, man, I'll make a video for your kid. I have no idea who she is, and he went right into character, was really charismatic. And obviously he left and didn't remember what he did 2 days later, but
Don't say that. Don't say that, because I have had interactions like that also. And then the next time I see them, it might be months later, they recognize me. And I'm like, how the fuck? You see millions of people. How do you remember me from that little fucking 30-second interaction? So I wouldn't automatically assume that he forgot.
that's cool, but you understand, like, these guys have a lot of these opportunities, even though it's not like a huge amount, percentage of the fans, but they do these things a lot. And because I think they recognize how much it means to the fans. And this is why we are fans.
The smart ones do.
I
think the smart ones realize that. The ones that don't realize it, they're the ones that aren't going to make it.
Right.
They'll make a few bucks in wrestling, and then that's it.
Right.
There's not as many of them as there used to be.
Right. And like I said, it's but that's why we're fans. That's why we became bigger, or what I would call deeper fans of wrestling, and how we can dive in, to all the different places we go.
And talk for an hour and 30 minutes and still not be in our top 5.
Jesus.
To be fair, I did have 10 wrestlers that are on my top 10 that I have to talk about.
I think you may have to edit this into a 2-part series at this point, because I don't think anybody is going to sit for, what's clearly going to end up being almost a 3-hour podcast.
They'll be fine.
I mean, we're not Joe Rogan.
They'll be
but-
fine. All right. That was your number 6.
Number 6, yeah.
And remind me who it was?
John Moxley.
John Moxley was 6. All right. So number 6 for me, also in AEW, started out in an organization called MLW. Don't know if you're familiar with them or not.
I am not.
But he was there. Cody Rhodes, actually, I could be wrong about this, but I believe the story is Cody Rhodes went to a show and saw him or interacted with him or something, and put the word in others' ears, which brought him to AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I could be completely wrong about that. That's just what I believe is the case.
Theoretically.
But he was on both of our lists for top wrestlers on the mic. He goes by 3 simple letters. He makes sure that you know it. And he also makes sure that you know that he's better than you. And that is Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. If you can't build a promotion around MJF, you shouldn't be a fucking promoter, because he has every intangible to be a superstar in this business. He's already there, but he's going to get much, much bigger. Much, much bigger.
I agree.
And
That kid can only
he's only 29 years old.
That kid can only go up.
Yeah.
I truly believe that kid can only go up.
Unless he suddenly becomes a pedophile, there's no going down for him.
I think he's low on your list, man.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean,
But
because he's going to come back up again. I have him. I do have him on my list. He's going to be a little bit higher, but
I'll say this right now: 5, 6. He would be 5 or 6. I have him in my 6th spot. I could switch the next person back and forth, but ultimately I gave the 6. I couldn't give him the top 4, and I'll have reasons for why.
Okay. So we're on to 5.
Yes, you were on number 5.
So my 5, I kind of have to look at everything this guy has done up to this point, and this is a guy that I first saw in TNA, and this man was a beast. I mean, this man was the powerhouse. If you needed that heel that was going to make the impact, almost like the impossible overcome. This is the guy I would want, right? This is the guy who made his whole gimmick by not only demolishing his opponent, but the next week carrying a towel, he wiped blood off them to the ring.
I was going to ask you a quick question. Does this individual use the coquina clutch as a finishing maneuver? The answer is yes, because I already know who you're talking about.
I mean,
so, okay, go ahead.
He's got several finishers, but that's one of them. Yeah. I mean, this guy has went on to be underutilized in a bigger promotion. Let's just say WWE did not utilize him, in my opinion, in the way they should have. Because
once he left NXT.
Yeah, once he left NXT, he was just kind of. They kind of used him as a jobber, and I didn't. Yeah, that's not where he was better than that. So much better than that. The guy has recently made his, I guess you could say, streaming or television debut.
Acting?
As far as acting goes, and doesn't have a single line in any part he's on screen because the character is actually voiced by somebody else. But the way he portrays this character is probably, I can't imagine anyone else doing it better than this guy has done it, right? He brings,
That's so funny.
The character needs brutality, and he brings that to it, and he is just phenomenal.
And he wears a mask.
And he wears a mask. So, in fact, if you don't know it's him, you wouldn't know it's him. I am talking about none other than the Samoan Destroyer, Samoa Joe. This guy, in my opinion, is phenomenal in the ring. He's phenomenal out of the ring. He is, I can't imagine anyone else playing Sweet Tooth in the Peacock show, Twisted Metal. I have been a fan from this guy from day one. And if I need a powerhouse heel to put against the baby face that's going to put asses in the seats, this is my guy. Samoa Joe comes in at number 5.
100%. Once again, agree with everything you just said. Samoa Joe is phenomenal. Not on my list strictly because of age, but I will tell you this. If we were to ever do a list of 10 people you would have as agents or producers or whatever you want to call it backstage to enhance or teach, coach, whatever you tell, Samoa Joe would be number 1 or 2 on my list.
He brings up an attitude and a presence that I think only he can bring to the ring, if you want the truth. Like, I've seen a lot of guys come out with that tough persona, and they do it well. But he comes out with that Joe's going to kill you persona, and it's... Guys look at him when he walks out, and they kind of have that oh shit look on their face, the same way that people used to stop and freeze when the lights went out and the bell sounded. because the Undertaker was on his way to the ring, right? He has that effect not only on the presence when he walks to the ring, but the crowd, and he's one of those guys that, okay, he's decent on the mic. I'm not going to say he's in
He's
the
better
he's
than
in the
decent.
top, but his in-ring work and how he does it commands, I think, more than his mic skills.
That's fair, but
Like-
I would put him above decent. He's Jake the Snake level to me because he uses verbiage and vocabulary. I guess that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
That makes you like think about what he's saying.
He has a little more what I call cerebral when it comes to his mic
Cerebral.
work.
There's a good word.
But
yes.
like, I mean, dude, you put him on Jake the
I-
Snake. In my
I think
opinion, is
they're-
like one of the
Well,
best
yes.
guys to ever pick up a mic.
Yes,
Like,
I'm saying that's there's similarities in
Yeah.
the way his promos come across.
you know,
And-
some of his delivery does kind of remind me of some of the old Jake the Snake days. Like the way he will, the way he pauses in some of his promos, and the way he. You know what? The way he looks into the camera when he delivers it reminds me a lot of Jake. I can see your similarities with Jake the Snake because if you remember, Jake would always kind of turn sideways and he would hard stare the camera.
and he can talk real quiet, real
And-
slow.
Not only that hard stare with that really deliberate, even delivery and how he did some of that mic work. I mean, that was
That's
genius at the time, and I kind of see how
Yeah.
Joe kind of has a little bit of that going for him when he does what he does.
Now he is ring work above his. I'm not saying it's not because he could literally not talk and he'd still be on the same level. Like he could just never speak. But I just wanted to give. I felt he deserved more credit than decent.
I
So-
mean, but he's had those moments where he didn't say a lot in the ring. He's had those
Doesn't
moments
need
where he
to.
didn't say anything in the ring, but that pushed what he was doing even higher because there's, I think it was Mark Calloway in an interview. He said, the one thing some wrestlers never figure out is when to shut the fuck up. He goes, because there's times where talking ruins what you're doing. He goes, I've seen guys stop in a match and pick up a mic, and I'm going, what? No, you just lost all your momentum. And I think Samoa Joe has a really good balance of when to come out to the ring and do what he does and leave, come out to the ring and do what he does and then make a statement.
Yeah.
Because he's not the guy that picks up a mic every time he comes to the ring. And he knows the value of not picking up that mic every time he comes to the ring. Whereas like MJF, if he doesn't have a mic in his hand,
something's wrong.
but that's what he's built his persona on, and he's really, really good at it.
Yep.
So
Another thing about Joe, his music, it's changed over the years. It's kind of been similar. Right now he's in a new faction. He's actually trios champs with Shibata and Powerhouse Hobbs. But so their music changed. I'm not a big fan of their music now. But regardless, every time he comes to the ring, as soon as whatever music it is, the crowd, Joe. So he doesn't need music because he's got the crowd that does
Right.
that every time. So I just wanted to say that.
best entrance he ever had was his TNA entrance, in my opinion. It was almost an ominous type music,
Oh, yeah.
but it had that driving almost beat that matched his footsteps to the ring,
Yeah.
and it was
That's
just.
I think that's where the Joe thing started. Yeah, okay.
And I think it kind of started with that following time with the beat. But in my opinion, like I said, I haven't seen the AEW run where he's come in yet. But his TNA so far, from what
I
I've
won't
really
spoil
delved
anything.
into, was some of the best work I've seen by Joe. I can't wait till I get into his AEW run.
I won't spoil that for you since
No,
I know how
please
high
don't.
you are. Other than, like I said, he is right now the trios champs with Hobbs
Right.
and Shibata.
As he should have gold anyway.
There's others that he has. I won't spoil. Okay. So now my number 5. And I said this is interchangeable with number 6 was MJF. But ultimately I chose to put him 5 here. He is 33 years old. He is another former member of the Bullet Club. He is another day one AEW wrestler. And I'm pretty positive he is the next AEW. Well, he's already previously been the AEW champion, but he's about to be 2-time AEW champion at this next pay-per-view. I would wager money that I think he's going to win. I could be wrong, but just recently they did a show in Mexico. This man came out to open the show and did an entire promo in fluent Spanish to a Mexican crowd on AEW television. I didn't realize that he could speak Spanish, let alone that he did that. So that to me bumps him up a little bit, knowing that that's
Yeah,
like
he came out and connected to the crowd on their level. That's just that's
like
priceless.
You didn't realize that Kenny spoke fluent
did not.
Japanese. he did the same thing in Japan. He was a gaijin, which is a non-Japanese wrestler. He would go out there and he connected with them because he learned Japanese and Spanish. And this individual, Hangman Adam Page, did that.
Okay.
I don't know how long he spoke Spanish. Maybe he has his entire life. I didn't know that he spoke it at all. Like I said, he came out there and cut this. I don't know what he said. I didn't need to know what he said. I just know he was saying things. The crowd was fucking reacting. And I was like, holy fuck, this man. I already was high on him because his wrestling ability, his character work. Again, another person I've met multiple times, and he is so fucking cool, so down to earth. He is actually a teacher before becoming a wrestler. Yeah. So number 5, Hangman Adam Page.
Now, I'll be honest with you. When I first started going back through AEW, the archives that I found, I was on the fence about him. Like, kind of like I liked him. I knew he did solid work. The more I've seen of Hangman Adam Page, the more I'm really digging this character. The more I'm really getting into his personally what he's doing in the ring. The more I'm watching his moves, how he's performing them, how fluid it is, how second nature it becomes, and kind of misjudged him in the very beginning. Dude's solid. The dude really is solid. And I think for him to go out in Mexico and deliver an entire promo to them in their native language, that, in my opinion, was a straight up power move. That was a straight up, this is where they're realizing the effort and the amount of what he's going to put into it. Whether he spoke Spanish his whole life or not, that's not something anyone knew. And then he comes out and cuts a promo like that to
I'm not talking just a few words. This was the opening segment of an AEW
yeah, those
show.
are like normally longer promos,
Yes.
depending on who's out there. I mean, because you're setting the tone for the show, and he not only set the tone for the show, but he did it intentionally for the audience he was in front of, regardless of the millions of people watching around the globe. Like you said, you had no idea what he said, but you felt the connection he made. And did they go back and tell you what he said later?
Excalibur, one of the announcers for AEW, he was kind of saying, like repeating after it,
Okay.
but not the entire.
It wasn't like a
just-
word for word thing type deal.
No,
So, no, because in my opinion, that's better.
Yeah.
Right? Because it made it special for the Spanish speaking
Spanish
audience.
crowd, yep.
Because you got to look at it like a lot of your Spanish, fans of American wrestling, they watch that in caption all the time. And I'll be honest, I take New Japan Wrestling in small bites and bits because I'm constantly trying to figure out what's going on the screen, but I'm reading captions. That annoys me.
They do have a English announce team.
They do, but I'm kind of weird on that a little bit because when I first started watching New Japan, a lot of it was on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately,
I got you.
it was the Japanese version of
got
it,
you,
and
yeah.
it wasn't that I had to start looking up where they had the English announcers on there.
Yeah.
Because once again, they've gotten so big now they have different announcers for different languages, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, AEW, WWE does the same thing. They have Spanish announcers for each of their shows. Yeah. But it speaks volumes for a wrestler to come out and do that.
Yep.
Like that's gonna just make him even more popular in the Spanish market.
Yep.
Because of what he did.
Not to mention, like Tony Khan see that and like, oh, I have a guy that I can rely on when we go to another country. It's
And for them to make that choice, that sets them above and beyond, right? Because I've never seen that in WWE.
not on national television,
No.
not on a Raw or a
Right.
SmackDown. Nope.
And we know they travel globally all the time, but I've never seen Raw, Smack, or even a what I would call a big event, WrestleMania, anything. Where, I mean, I've seen guys come out and speak their native language, but they weren't addressing the crowd.
Right. They were just, yep.
You know, they were doing what they were doing because that was part of their gimmick. But to see these guys come out and address the crowd in their language, was like you said, Kenny Omega did it over in New Japan, and now Hangman Page is doing it when they're going to Mexico. That's incredible. That's more of the experience and the connection that we're talking about. So
That's both of our 5s, right?
Mm-hmm. So we're into the top 4.
You want to do the cards?
Okay. Well,
try not to bring up anybody that died, so, you know.
All right, man. What's it going to be, right or left?
Last time I said north.
North.
I'll go left.
All right, we're going left. And you got the chicks again. So, Megan Kelly.
No idea who that is.
Not sure who that is, and that is a weird spelling.
I was going to say, is it spelled the normal way?
Megyn.
Megyn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well. American journalist and attorney. Okay.
Really? Wait a minute. Is that the one that was on?
I got it. If you look up, you can see.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking it was. Okay, yeah. All right.
Not familiar with her, but she looks like a Karen.
I know. Yeah, I don't know what news channel she was on, but she's done a lot of interviewing and stuff. A lot of reporting. Okay. The next one's Jenny McCarthy. I know where this is going. And the final one is Jewel.
Oh, Jewel. Okay.
The singer.
Well, this is stupid fucking easy for me.
Yeah, for me too. Quite
Megan
honestly.
Kelly, first of all, spell your name correctly. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Nathan with an E, so I have no room to talk. Anyways, Megan Kelly is going to die. She looks like a Karen. While some of the pictures, she's kind of pretty. For the most part, yeah, no thanks. So, Megan Kelly's dead.
Mm-hmm.
I will take the night, as you say, with Jewel. It will be a fun night, and hopefully she will serenade me. But I am 100% without a shadow of a doubt marrying Jenny McCartney.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Yeah. I think every listener that's ever listened to the show knew that was coming. That's like saying Jessica Biel. Come on now.
All right, so I'm in the same boat with you on Megan Kelly, just based on the 3. The other 2, I'm going to kind of switch off on though. I will have the night of fun with Jenny, and then give her back to you to marry. And I'm going to marry Jewel. I've always thought she was a very talented musician. I actually had one of her CDs at one point in time, and she just seemed super chill, down to earth kind of girl, and just, you know, somebody you could kind of just chill and have that life with, you know. Plus, like, she lived in a van for I don't know how long before she actually got her break. So I know that,
Was it Down by the River?
I don't think so. Yeah, nice Farley callback. But yeah, I mean, so you kind of know that she's had her hard times, and she knows how to kind of get through some stuff, and, you know, just other than that, just seems like a all around kind of cool Canadian American girl.
All right. So that just made me realize when I said the Jessica Biel, Jenny McCarthy, if Erica's name, my wife, was in these cards, and we ever drew Erica, Jenny McCarthy, and Jessica Biel, boy, am I in trouble. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one of these cards printed, or just a sticker. I'm just gonna slide it in there on top of it, and then just put it back in the stack and wait.
You can't do that, because then you have to choose also.
Oh yeah.
All right. Back to the list. Top 4.
There'll be a 4th card in that. This one's just for you.
I would marry Erica, obviously.
And that card's not in my stack, so I don't have to answer that.
What's your number 4, man?
All right, man. So number 4, and this is, like I said, number 4 for me has already been mentioned, but that is MJF. As far as that mic skill heel goes, I think the young man can only go up, and people do come to boo him, and some people come to cheer him. But without a doubt, the man commands an audience when he picks up a mic. And I know a lot of it is just from the brutal, I guess, asshole, sarcastic way that he just comes across. But when it comes to him claiming to be the best, when it comes to him doing what he does on the mic, he does back it up in the ring. The guy's still a great wrestler. The guy can take a beating because he has taken many beatings. The man can dish out the beatings, and love him or hate him, when he holds the gold, I never debate on whether he deserved to hold the gold. I never debate on if he took it and didn't deserve it. I never have debated on if he was just handed it because he was the heel and they needed it to be in someone else's hands for a while. The guy legitimately on a lot of title matches has exchanged, and these matches went down to he didn't walk out unscathed at all. And there was never the guy gave up. The guy just took it because he's place holding it now. No, he's just phenomenal in the ring. He's phenomenal on the mic, and he does it in a way where you love to hate him. Mm-hmm. Love the guy, love the character, hate him, but you love to hate him because of what he does, and that's what makes him so good. You kind of want to hate him because he's a heel in a way. I know you love the heels over the baby faces, but at the same point in time, you love what he's doing. Yeah. And there is that kind of weird relationship with that.
I want to say this also, because you say the love to hate thing. So my measure, I guess you would call it, if a wrestler is really truly over, is my wife. So take this back to Seth Rollins. I mentioned in my honorable mentions. He used to be a very, 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 very big heel. My wife absolutely hated him. Right after the Shield broke up or whatever, she just hated him. Like, couldn't fucking stand him.
I really wouldn't call him a babyface now.
He had a babyface face.
Well, he did, but
I'm talking about when he was after Shield, fucking full on heel. Everyone hated him. I loved him, obviously. Mm-hmm. My wife absolutely hated him. But then something happened. And she started to realize the greatness. She started to be a Seth Rollins fan.
I think there's a big missed opportunity there right now. Because obviously he's in his heel run still. His wife is in a heel run.
Becky, yeah.
And they're not making them a heel power couple. Everyone knows they're married. It's not a secret. Yeah. There's nothing secret about this. Why aren't they like, dude, this could legitimately, I could see a storyline here. There's a storyline here where they could both hold championships as a heel power couple. I mean, you remember a while back that god-awful phase of the Authority where it was Triple H, Stephanie, and then they brought in Kane. The only saving grace about that point in WWE was Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, the man, rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, one of the greatest storytellers wrestling has seen in I don't know how long. And the fact that they gave him control of the Bray Wyatt character with that Louisiana backwoods kind of weird family cult, and then the Fun House, genius. He would have been, in my opinion, as big as The Undertaker, if, God rest his soul, he didn't pass away. The Fiend and everything else, that was the only thing that really saved it. But the Authority did hit as that power heel couple that was really needed. And I think they're missing an opportunity here with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch becoming that power heel couple. And I'm not the biggest heel fan in wrestling out there. I realize they have their place and they need it, but this, I think, is a really big missed opportunity.
Maybe. The reason I brought up Seth, though, is because MJF did the same thing. Mm-hmm. My wife hated MJF. I, of course, loved him. Mm-hmm. But she hated him. And then something one day, she was like moving her head or whatever and doing the music when he comes out. And she's like, what am I doing? And now she's an MJF fan. Whether she wants to admit it or not, she likes MJF now.
So I don't think he ever was a babyface, though.
he had a very small stint where he was a babyface.
Like
With
even what I'm
Adam,
watching
you
now.
haven't watched it yet. It'll come.
Okay.
I won't spoil that either because it's so good. But it was a small stint, and he became the AEW scumbag. Like he's our scumbag. That's the chant. Like
Oh wow.
yeah, and it got over, dude. He was big babyface, and then he reverted back to heel, as he should.
Right.
I mean, he's a good babyface, but he's a better heel. But my wife's a big fan of it, MJF. So that's my measuring stick as far as when somebody is over. To me, I'm like, if my wife goes from like hating, despising this motherfucker, and then as a fan, that motherfucker's over. So MJF, 100% agree with what you said. Obviously, he's on my list as well. So
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no denying this kid can go as far as he wants to go. Because I honestly believe I think there's still more talent in him that we haven't seen yet. And you know,
he's 29 years old. There's plenty of time.
his loyalty to Cody Rhodes, especially in the beginning and everything, you know, as far as, you know, he kind of had that, I was going to say, not really, almost anti-hero kind of vibe in the beginning. And I know he's kind of full into the heel, but it was almost like Cody was kind of keeping him on that even keel. And now that Cody's gone, he's kind of went off the rails and done what you would want this character to do.
Have you gotten to the dinner debonair yet?
No.
Okay. I won't spoil that either.
But I mean, obviously, you know, I can pretty much say, because I know how wrestling goes, there's probably going to be a turn, there's going to be a betrayal, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. This is part of the wrestling story. But he has shown that he is multifaceted and multi-layered in what he can do, even in the realm of him being just him right now. And I'm really enjoying seeing, you know, where this has gone so far, where it's going to go. And I can't wait to see where his career ends up, because even if he stays in AEW, this motherfucker can become a household name on not the biggest promotion.
Oh yeah.
And just, he's got the look, he's got the mic skills, and he's got the in-ring skills to pull it off.
He's in Happy Gilmore too. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I didn't. That's not even out yet.
I know. It's coming out though.
But he's in Happy.
He's in-
Oh,
he
this is
play-
going to be great.
He plays a decent role, I believe, also.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestlers have ended up in
He was
a lot
also
of TV shows.
He was also in Iron Claw, which is the story of you know what Iron Claw is?
Mhm.
What's the family? The wrestling family? Von Erichs.
Von Erichs,
It's the
yeah.
Von Erich family story. He was
And he was in that
MJF
movie.
yeah.
Yeah. I
He
did see
played
him.
one of the Von Erichs. I forget which one. Yeah. So,
So
but back to the dinner debonair thing. It's with Chris Jericho, MJF, and Chris Jericho. When you get to it, it's if we ever did a top 10 greatest moments on wrestling television, that would probably be on mine. It'd be in there somewhere. It's fantastic. Okay. My number 4, I have brought him up earlier. I asked you, make sure that you knew who he was. He was originally in New Japan. He is now AEW. He was part of the group Aussie Open with Kyle Fletcher, who was also on my list. And that is none other than the 32-year-old aerial assassin, Will Ospreay.
dude is a phenomenal athlete.
He's getting better on the mic. He was never the best on the mic. He is getting
I
better.
agree with you. I agree with you there. It was not. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like, oh God, he picked up a mic. Who the fuck gave the guy a mic? I've had wrestlers where I've had that opinion. Like, oh my God, who the fuck gave him a mic? So no, like he's not bad.
He's getting better.
His in-ring work is great.
Real quick, I wanted to say this about MJF. Sorry, you said in-ring work. So MJF, sometimes how good he is on the mic overshadows how good he actually is in the ring.
Oh, I agree.
So I just wanted to bring
I
that
agree.
up.
Hence why he was on my top 10 of greatest guys on the mic. That guy is...
But he's also phenomenal in the ring.
He's excruciatingly fluent in what he can do on the mic. It's absolutely... he has a comfort level on the mic that I haven't seen since guys like Dusty Rhodes, Jake the Snake, Ric Flair. He is just as comfortable there as he is in the ring. That speaks volumes as to what the kid can do at 29 years old.
Yep.
And that means that he is Because a lot of these young guys coming in, they focus on their in-ring skills, and that's great. But you can tell they don't put that same effort into their mic skills. And whether it naturally comes to MJF or he has just put that time in, as many times as he's been on the mic, he gets better.
Oh, yeah.
And that tells me that he analyzes what he does on the mic. He revamps how he stands, how he looks at either the interviewer or the camera. I've even noticed little changes in how he holds the microphone and how he delivers his promos. This guy studies what he does. This guy studies what other people does because he wants to be that way.
Right.
And it shows.
I think he came out the womb talking shit to the doctor. So. But back to what you were saying about Will Ospreay. I'm sorry. You said his in-ring work.
Definitely much better than his mic work. But his in-ring work, I think, speaks for itself. It stands for itself.
Yep.
He has a phenomenal ring presence, and he has a impeccable ability to know where his opponent is and know where he needs to be in the air to create the stunts that he's doing. And it's always done with precision. Like, obviously everyone makes mistakes. Obviously everyone is going to have mistakes, mishaps. That happens. But his awareness when he's doing a lot of these things is kind of up there. You know, as crazy as the guy gets, I never had a feeling going, ooh, that was not safe. That was not, you know, I mean, all those moves have risk.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell the wrestlers who wrestle trying to get this is awesome moment, and the guys who wrestle with, we're both walking out of here and it's going to be a great match and we can make that moment. He's in the latter for me.
Yep. To my knowledge, he's never hurt anyone in ring, and he has never had a bad match. No matter who he's with, he puts on a great match.
That speaks volumes about a wrestler in general, because you've got to have guys that will work with you, especially these high flyers. It's always higher risky in what they do. But when you get a reputation for being a safe worker, that means more in the wrestling industry a lot of times than your ability to talk on a mic, because that means they can put you out there with everybody, and they know that you're going to protect the company assets as far as the people, and that you're going to give the crowd what they want night after night. And I think Will's in that group.
Some may say that number 4 is low on my list. I don't know if he's even on your list or not, but
he is not.
Okay.
In fact, you might argue with me on my top 3.
Well, let's get into it.
But
top 3, here it is.
Top 3, here we go. Let's say so. My number 3. This is a guy who everyone notices when he walks in the room. This is a guy who has recently, in my opinion, started to garner a bigger following, but his size is intimidating. He has also stopped. He was at the guy actually was at the Franklin and Speedway and took pictures with kids. At the Speedway there in Franklin where I live, took pictures with kids on one of the runs through Dayton that they made, and he's well liked. People come to see him. And I think he's about ready to get an amazing push upwards, but I'm talking about Braun Strowman.
Wow. Okay.
So,
I'm not. First of all, you said I would argue. I am not going to argue.
Really?
Because this is your list. You have different reasonings. I have different reasonings. So I'm not going to argue. But that's a shocker. Braun Strowman, really?
yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, this is the guy. So, this is the guy who you don't get big guys like this as often anymore, right? You know, I mean, your big shows are out. Your Andres are done. This is a guy who stands toe to toe with guys like the Undertaker, talking about height wise.
Yeah.
And there is a certain, so your high flyers are amazing. These guys are going to create moments in the show. Braun Strowman's the guy who power slams you and breaks the ring, right? Like these are going to create different, scenarios. You got to think back to when, what was his name? Brock Lesnar and the Big Show went at it and literally tore all 4 posts out of the floor. Like you watch the concretes and the bolts fly, just from the impact of these guys. I mean, he's superplexed him from the third rope, for Christ's sake. This is a guy who can kind of go to this level, right? This is a guy that everybody the next day is going to be talking about what happened. So when you have a guy who's physically intimidating as Braun, who you can play off as a babyface or a heel, depending on where you want this to go, right? And he has the ability to work both sides of that coin. I think that's someone that you could use to build a promotion off of.
Okay.
Because, I mean, think about everyone you can bring in to take out the next giant.
Fair enough. All right. I'm really curious to see your 2-1 now. I mean, I already was, but now that is high on the list.
See, you're going to really disagree with my number 1 because the guy is fairly new.
Unless you say Ric Flair, I'm not going to.
No,
nothing against Ric Flair, but we're not building a promotion around him right now.
So
don't tell me out.
No. But my number 1 is kind of a younger guy that's coming out, and
okay.
It's because I see potential in him, not that he's actually proved it yet.
Hey, my next 3, as you would say, you're probably going to argue with me. I don't think you're going to. Other people would, but this is my list, so I get it. I completely understand, and I'm on board with the I see potential. That's my whole list. I see potential in these people, and my top 3 are all kind of a close place to my heart, especially my number 1, which I'll go into when I get to as well. So on board. Braun Strowman shocks the shit out of me. But hey,
I figured that one was going to make you go, wait a minute, what?
But hey, I like it. But I do also want to see it. Don't tell me if yours are bigger guys. Like if all 3 of them are kind of like muscular or bigger. Like I said, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'll just see, and because there's going to be a trend in mine. Mine aren't bigger guys. Mine are the more athletic and the ones that typical Vince McMahon WWE.
Dude, do not tell me Jungle Boy is in your top 3, please.
Okay, let's talk about Jungle Boy for a second. Jungle Boy is a good wrestler. I did not like the Jungle Boy gimmick at all.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm going to spoil a little bit for you. He does turn heel. There's a whole situation with Punk when he was in WWE. Cancer Punk did some things and left. Thank you. Yeah. I hate Punk.
Once again, the mic drop.
Yeah. Well, that caused a suspension for Jungle Boy because Tony had to do something. Well, during that suspension, he went off to some indie stuff, and he became heel Jungle Boy, heel Jack Perry. Still had the Jungle Boy gimmick or whatever, but turned himself to Jack Perry more. That character, way better than Jungle Boy character. However, everybody still loves Jungle Boy. I don't know.
It's like Shark Boy, in my opinion. Like everybody likes Jungle Boy because everybody likes Shark Boy. And it was,
back to earlier, I meant to say this too. My 10th grade writing or newspaper teacher, shout out Mr. Coates. I wanted to give him a shout out earlier just because he let me and my friend write a wrestling column weekly in the school newspaper. Yeah. He didn't have to do that. So that was awesome. But you remind me because he was cousins to Shark Boy.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. I forgot where we were going with all that. Am I giving my number 3? I think I am giving my number 3 now.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Jungle Boy. We're talking about Jungle Boy. So you'll eventually get to his heel run. I think you'll appreciate that. I don't know because you're not really a heel guy. I think you'll appreciate it better. His look is better. His demeanor, his mic work, everything is better once he made that transition to heel.
And it's not that I don't like heels.
You're partial to baby faces.
The problem is 90% of the heels are the same guy.
If they're not doing it right.
Now, hang on. 90% of the heels out there play the same role, right? There are certain wrestlers that do it better, that do it more unique.
Of course.
And those are the heels that I like. Okay, so Jericho has a unique run on heel, right? I like Jericho as a heel. I like him better as a babyface, but I do like him as a heel. MJF, in my opinion, whole nother level. I love him on that heel run. Like I can't see him turning babyface because he's the heel. Like he is, in my opinion. If I'm going to bring a wrestler in and be like, okay, you're a heel, now I need you to go home and watch 800 hours of MJF because you need to have something unique. You need to do what this guy's doing, right? So for me to say, yeah, he's 29 years old and I'm putting him as one of the standards of heels because I think he's just that good at it because he portrays it that well. A lot of your other heels are like, yeah, I'm just going to come out, kick you in the nuts and take your title. Come on, man. Like, do better, you know?
You put MJF below Braun Strowman. Okay, whatever. All right, my number 3. Here we go. So you're familiar with this person, and the only reason you're familiar with this person is because you were able to experience that at the last Pro Wrestling Revolver show. I have been a fan of this man since the first time I ever seen him, and I actually believe it was at a Pro Wrestling Revolver show years ago. He was part of the same promotion that MJF was, like I said earlier, MLW. Right now, I think he is possibly signed with Impact. I'm not sure. There's a faction called the Rascals in TNA. Zachary Wentz, which you saw him at the Reinheist show. Trey Miguel, love Trey Miguel. He should be on this list probably. But and then Desmond Xavier, he is now in NXT under a different name. I don't know. The fourth Rascal was Myron Reed. He is the current Pro Wrestling Revolver champion. He was the main event of the Pro Wrestling Revolver show that we went to. And he is an amazing talent. I
still don't know how he's not getting copyright hit from WWE off that entrance music, but
I don't know. I honestly believe that the only reason he hasn't been picked up by a WWE is AEW. I have no idea. Is his size because he is smaller. He isn't a big jacked up motherfucker. He has a gangster kind of persona. But so does R-Truth. So does Swerve. So do all these other people. So that can't be the reason. I honestly think that these higher ups don't see him as a main event player because of his size, and that's unfortunate. Because I will die on this hill. Myron Reed can be a champion in every promotion in the world.
Okay,
that's how much I like Myron Reed.
I'm not debating his skill or his in-ring ability.
28, by the way.
If I had to personally put on why he's not getting picked up, his persona's been done and is still being done by so many people. I'm not sure he'd stand out the way he needs to, right? Because you kind of talk about that gangster thing a little bit, that kind of attitude, and he has phenomenal ring attitude. He has phenomenal, just his interactions, the way he came out at that show, the way he went around the ring, addressed all sides of the ring. We were at the very back row. He spotted your wife's Rascal shirt. I mean, he kind of gave her the point and the kind of the wink type thing. So he's very aware of what's going on in the crowd. He's very aware of what's going on in the ring. His in-ring work is great and awesome, actually, for a kid his age. Like I said, kind of, obviously he uses part of the DX thing for his entrance music, and it kind of bleeds into another song. So
I don't think that's his normal music.
Isn't it?
I don't think so.
Okay, because that's why I was asking. Is that like his normal thing? Because,
I mean, it wasn't an MLW. It was a different.
Right. So, I mean, looking at all of that, but that kind of gangster thing's been done by a lot of different wrestlers, and some other wrestlers have just done it better. And I'm not saying that against him, but he kind of bleeds that persona, and it's not at that particular level. And if he's going to hold on to that, like, this is just what I do, it could be why he's not getting picked up.
I don't think that I think it's just part of his persona. I don't think that's his. I don't think he's trying to go for a gangster gimmick. I didn't when I said that. I wasn't meaning that. It's
Right.
not like he's coming out there flashing gang signs.
No,
and
it's not
all
like
of
that.
kind of stuff.
It's
I think it's just he has that. So I was saying I don't think that's why they're not. Maybe what you're saying, but I more think it's because of his size. I don't know. WWE has always been big guys.
yeah. I mean, traditionally, yes.
They're borderline now. They're letting bigger, but you think of their champions, they're the bigger guys.
Oh yeah, the champions are always the bodybuilder style looking, bigger guys, which is kind of why I appreciated what they were doing in TNA. Kind of what I appreciate, kind of what they've been doing in AEW, because there is a vast amount of talent there, and there are guys who can wrestle on that level. It's just because they didn't fit what I'm going to call the Vince aesthetics.
Yeah.
Because essentially he's the one who set that standard.
Yep.
Right. That's why we always had the guys like Hulk Hogan with gold on their belt. The Lex Luthers, the Ric Flairs,
Luger.
the John Cenas,
Lex
Luger. Yeah.
Lex Luthor is a Superman villain.
Superhero villain. Same thing. I mean, regardless, these are the guys that carried his gold, right? And traditionally, if you didn't have that look, you weren't going to get that push, that gold run. The only real exception to that rule, in my opinion, was Mick Foley. And why? Because you weren't going to stop Mick Foley.
Okay.
And he was so over with the crowd, I don't think he had a choice but to put the belt on him at that point. But when you look at that, Foley did what no one else would do, right? Like Foley was willing to just do it all. And there were times where guys were like, yeah, I sat down and went through the match with Mick, and I'm like, dude, I'll kill you if we try this. No, you're good. We're just going to do it anyway, But Mick had a whole different persona. But Mick was not your typical wrestler either. Mick didn't look like a wrestler. Mick looked like me,
There you go, Kyle.
Like if I could go wrestle in sweatpants and a dirty shirt, like, all right, fuck yeah, let's go, Like he didn't have to maintain a certain physique.
Yeah.
And he proved that it wasn't just the physique that gets the crowd on your side, okay? And like I said, Mick was an exception to the rule, in my opinion. Yeah. But most of the guys who carried the belt were the bigger guys. And Mick had very, very short WWE championship runs. But Mick held that hardcore championship for I don't know how long, right? Like, it was almost like, all right, we got to make a belt to put on this guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
And, I think that's unfair. And so I agree with you. Some of these smaller guys aren't getting recognized for the talent that they have, especially in ring.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see other promotions realize that, hey, man, these guys can do it.
That's why I don't understand AEW, though. Like, to me, Myron Reed is prime for AEW. So I don't know what it is. Maybe Myron doesn't want to go there, or maybe there's something backstage that I don't know. Maybe he has an attitude. I don't feel that way because, again, I've met him several times. Dude is so fucking cool.
Right.
So I mean, it just boggles my mind.
And you got to think about how many wrestlers are trying to get into AEW, right? Because this is the second biggest promotion, in my opinion, on the market.
And they're all good. AEW is where the best wrestle. That's what their gimmick is, or they're saying is right now.
Right.
Myron Reed is that, like.
Yeah,
this
but
is me seeing potential. We're talking about you saw potential in your list, so that's me with that.
And I agree with you on the potential of this kid, just based on what I saw. Like the kid has a lot of potential, And like I said, it may not be his potential. It may just be like, look, man, we can't expand our roster anymore. We'll call you if we have an opening type deal. Yeah. And I hope he's on that short list. I really do because
I'm cutting somebody for him.
I kind of see what you got.
Like I'm cutting somebody to put my. That's why he's my number 3.
And of course, at the same time, you've got guys trying to jump ship from the bigger promotion, or from WWE over. So, I mean, there's, like I said, one of the hardest professions to get into on TV. And I think there are a lot of guys overlooked, like Myron. And there are a lot of guys overlooked, even in the promotion, that need to be pushed better. But then again, I mean, how many champions can you have in a promotion before it's diluted? And, like I said, I would be shit on the business end of wrestling because I would want them all, right? We'd have to have a 6-hour show every Monday night because, if the guys are all going to get screen time. So, there's just that kind of scenario of, we don't know exactly why, but I do agree with you. The kid is phenomenal and he does super good in the ring. And I was not only impressed, but I enjoyed watching the match. Even not really knowing who he was at the time.
Yeah.
It was still one of those
I hyped
matches that
him
you
up
can
a
just
little
kind of get behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, just watching it.
I hyped him up a little bit for you, but
Yeah, you were definitely on that streamline boat. So, I mean, dude, we're in the top 2, man. We're knocking on the dragon door.
2.5 hours in.
So I know, holy crap. Yeah.
Hope everybody's still with us, enjoying this. I think they are.
I hope so. I know it's long winded, and this is something that we can go down rabbit hole after rabbit hole. But it's part of that fandom, man. It's part of what we got, you know. So my number 2, and this is the only luchador that made my list.
Oh, okay.
And I've been I've loved this guy from the very first match I saw him. I think his persona is good. I think his in-ring ability is good, and his ability to connect with a crowd is even better, right? And I'm talking about none other than, I will name him as the first time I saw him, where he was kind of under the guidance of a wrestler whose name was Conan, if anyone remembers Conan, and that is Pentagon Jr., or as he is known now as Penta.
He's had so many different Penta.
He's had so many different names, still the same look,
Yeah.
still the same gimmick,
Zero Miro.
and still the guy can work in a tag, the guy can work on a singles run, and he is extremely entertaining to watch. He involves the crowd in everything he does, which I think is super important, and that hasn't changed from the lower, smaller promotions all the way to the WWE where he is now. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him. Everybody knows the hand signs of him. And he is just kind of the guy that, in my opinion, is, I think, not given the due he deserves to a degree. Because that guy could do a lot more than I think he's doing. But I think Penta, at the level he's at, has a connection with the wrestling community that not a lot of other wrestlers have. And I think it's such a loyal connection with that community. They will follow him wherever he goes.
Yep.
And that's important. And I think, and Penta is one of those guys who knows what he does, and he does it very, very well.
So he is not on my list for 2 reasons. One, luchador. I left luchadors off of here, like I said. And the other, I would still singles. Yes, he is phenomenal singles, but I would still classify him as a tag team with his brother Ray Phoenix and the Lucha Bros. So I left him off of that. They 100% will be on a tag team list. Spoiler alert.
I mean, phenomenal together, like I said.
Oh, yeah,
but he's excelled in both sides. And we both know there's guys who never completely excelled past their tag days and didn't quite make that singles run the way everyone hoped they would.
Yeah.
Just because some wrestlers
both
are just
of them
better.
on their own can, though. They both.
Oh, yeah. Both of them on their own have proven that they are strong singles competitors. And, you know, like I said, Ray Phoenix is another one of those guys who's typically a smaller guy, definitely smaller than Penta. But his skill level and what he can do is super high.
Yeah. In my opinion, AEW, in their 5 or 6 years, however it is now, years of existence, have dropped the ball 3 times. One, can't really count because I think Cody needed to do what he did. But I would still, that's one. That was the first big blow. I wouldn't call drop the ball big blow.
When he left?
Yeah. The second was Jade Cargill. I don't know why they let her go. They should have given her the world to keep her. And now, of course, she's doing exactly what I thought she'd do in WWE, which is not what she should be doing. The third one,
she's definitely better than WWE's using her.
Yes.
In my
the
opinion.
third one was the Lucha Bros. But especially because I know the Bucks have a good relationship with the Lucha Bros. I don't know what happened there. Maybe the same thing as Cody. Maybe they just they always aspired to be WWE or something. I don't know. But the fact that Tony Khan let the Lucha Bros go, in my opinion, was one of the biggest ball drops that they've had, and it's a super big blow.
I mean, money is a big factor, and I don't know how
He
much
can
they
give
paid to get
them-
Penta over.
They could give him the same amount. Tony Khan is a billionaire. I don't want to hear money. And it can't be about TV exposure or championships because they were on TV every week
Yeah,
and they
I
had
get it.
championships. So I don't know what it was, but
I mean, for
is
some
what it is.
reason, when it comes to wrestling and wrestlers, the WWE is kind of that you made it scenario, right? And I don't
I think it was.
I don't
think it is
necessarily
anymore.
I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I mean, because why? Think about WrestleMania was called what? And it still is called the grandest stage of them all, right? So they've kind of created that persona of if you make it to a WrestleMania stage, you've reached the pinnacle of pro wrestling, which to a degree I would agree with. I mean, look at the amount of people they draw to WrestleMania every year, right? Like they have to keep getting bigger and bigger venues because regardless of how you look at it, WrestleMania draws the crowd. Like it is one of the biggest wrestling events of the year, if not the biggest wrestling event of the year. But that doesn't mean that a wrestler hasn't made it just because they haven't been on WrestleMania, right?
Right.
And there needs to be a different in my opinion, AEW needs a mania. Now, obviously, they can't use the term WrestleMania.
Well, they're developing it. It's
But-
all in. Like they did London all in, and it's the biggest sellout that's history of wrestling. So they're
So-
making it, but they're still new, so it's going to
Right.
take some time.
But when you look at it, they need something that can eventually rival that. So it's not the only option. As far as I'm talking about. And I think there's just some guys who want to say they've been in every promotion, and that could have been kind of part of Penta's deal, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So I can't really say anything going on with that, but I think regardless of where Penta goes, he's going to have a fan base that's not only built into where he walks through the door at, but that's going to follow him where he walks through the door at. And unfortunately, bad news for whoever he left, good news for wherever he goes. But for a guy to maintain a fan base the way he has through everything he's done, the Lucha Underground run that he had was phenomenal, but then he was up against, a lot of other luchas, which really kind of pushed him to a different level. But he still had the ability to connect with that crowd just as much as he connected with any WWE crowd, any AEW crowd. And it's just phenomenal to see what the guy does. He's very consistent all the way across the board.
Technical ability. His brother is a better wrestler. Character-wise and look, I give it to Penta. I personally love both of them, but if I had to say which one I like more, Penta's the one I like more.
Mhm.
And I think it's because of his look and his character.
Mhm.
But technically,
He has pushed that character above where it needs to be.
in-ring work, if you just look at wrestling skills, and Ray has higher technical ability.
I would agree with you on that.
Not saying that Penta doesn't, because he does have high.
Oh no, he does.
But Ray is the better.
Ray edges him out a little bit as
Yep.
far as that goes. Ray just hasn't got his persona to where Penta has his.
That was your
It's my number 2.
2. Okay.
So I don't know if you classify him as a big guy because I really wouldn't, but
He's
big for a luchador.
he's
But
I've met him as well. He is a buff motherfucker. He's not a giant, obviously. I think he would fall under the big stature for WWE though, to be a champion. Like I think,
I mean, maybe
yeah. He wouldn't fall in the cruiserweights. So
I think he would fall under the stature as far as Triple H is concerned, as far as Paul's concerned, as far as putting a belt on somebody. I don't think he would have made Vince's cut.
I don't think he would have made Vince's cut because he was a masked wrestler. But this isn't about Vince. Fuck Vince. Okay. Number 2.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Fuck Vince.
Number 2. Another guy who, I don't know if he necessarily got his start in Lucha Underground, but he definitely made a name for himself in Lucha Underground.
Okay.
Once again, Pro Wrestling Revolver. The first time I ever seen this individual was at a Pro Wrestling Revolver show. Oh, I love Pro Wrestling Revolver.
Shout out to Pro Wrestling Revolver if anyone hears this.
It's mentioned
just,
5 times. This man, the first time I seen him, I don't know the name of the song. I wish I knew the name of the song. It's a crazy song to come out to. Slow, but he came out to it, and I was like, "What is this?" And then I just got this vibe from him just walking to the ring. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, this is pretty fucking cool. The crowd was loving it. They obviously knew who he was at that point.
Mhm.
And then I saw him wrestle. It's like, oh, okay. Swerve Strickland. He had a little.
Oh, okay.
He had a
Current
little
AEW guy.
He had a little stint in NXT and WWE, and they dropped the fucking ball with him because this motherfucker is amazing. Everything he does, everything he touches, is amazing. And
He has charisma that I haven't seen in a while.
He oozes-
He really does. He has charisma that kind of reminds me of the early Christian days, in a way.
okay.
But yeah, dude, and that's almost an unfair because I think he's better than the early Christian days.
yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
But there are some similarities there. He's just better at it than what Christian was in the
I get
early
you.
run. I mean, charisma is something we really haven't talked a whole lot about in this list, but Swerve has charisma that not a lot of wrestlers have today.
Yeah.
And I think that's a phenomenal, a lot of times underrated quality of some of these wrestlers.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if have you gotten to the point on AEW where Swerve's there yet? Or are you not there yet?
I think he's just come in.
Okay. All right.
But he's not like
Got you. Okay.
Big guy there
When
yet,
he
so to
first
speak.
comes in, it's kind of a slow start because I was kind of like, oh, don't do this. But once he gets going, he's off to running. He eventually comes AEW champion. He's top of the
Nice.
card all the time. Sorry, I keep giving you spoilers.
I mean, it's good to see a guy
Yeah.
that, I know of what's going on with him get his shot.
Yeah.
Regardless, it doesn't spoil me watching the run to that shot, even if I know he's going to get it. I'm glad guys like this are getting that shot.
Okay. Well, he's in the top of the card all the time, and he deserves to be there. Do you know who Prince Nana is?
I know the name.
Okay. He is a wrestler back. It was RNOH. He was a wrestler, and then he developed this stable. For life of me, I can't remember the name of the stable. My memory right now is terrible. I can't remember the song. I can't remember the name of the stable. Anyways, he is Swerve's manager, and he comes out when the. By the way, Swerve is also a mogul. He makes his music. He has a rap career also aside from this. He does several different things.
Okay.
But he makes his entrance music, and Nana comes out when the beat drops, and he does this dance. I don't, I can't even. It's amazing. It got over so quick with the crowd. We have these fat,
So did Jey Uso's
white-
Yeet, but I can't stand that.
we have these fat, white, balding slobber coming out of their mouth. Men doing this dance.
dude.
It's amazing. And then pan to this old grandma doing it. It's fucking So Nana paired with him has helped get him over. But
Okay.
he didn't need help getting over is what I'm saying. Because Swerve is just, like you said, charisma.
Right.
And in-ring ability, mic work, everything top notch. If you can't build a promotion around this man, or if you have him in your promotion and you let him go, I don't know the fuck you're doing. Swerve Strickland,
Yeah.
number 2.
All right. man.
And they changed his name. You can't change.
Yeah.
Who changes Swerve Strickland? That is a name right there. And
Yeah, I mean that.
they changed
I
it to
agree.
Isaiah Scott or some shit.
I know. Like that. That is. I mean, Swerve Strickland was kind of, unless they told him he couldn't take it because of intellectual rights or property or however that is. Because if you kind of remember back in the day,
But it was his. That was
They-
his name.
did he own it?
I think so. I mean, he has it now. He went right back to it as soon as he left WWE. So I feel like he owns it.
But he went back to AEW though, right?
He wasn't in AEW before. He started
Or
out.
he was Ring of Honor. That's right.
He wasn't in Ring of Honor there. He was in Lucha Underground for a short period of time, and
Right.
he did Independence. Then NXT signed him, and that's when they
Okay.
changed him to Isaiah Scott or
Right.
whatever it was. And then because prior to that he was Swerve, and then after he left, he went right back to the Swerve Strickland name. I think it's one of those WWE doesn't want your name from. They did that for a very long
Yeah.
time. They didn't want people to keep their names. There's very few that
'Cause
come
then there
through.
was the
and they keep-
lawsuit between him and Ted Turner over when Scott Hall left because they said that he was still
Oh yeah.
acting as Razor Ramon, which was an intellectual property of WWE.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. Unless Lucha Underground owned the name, and finally the time span ran out, so he could pick it back up.
That could be possible.
Would be the only thing I could think of. But you are right. WWE does love changing someone's name, and there's a lot of times it's just not called for, in my opinion.
Swerve Strickland's one of them. Like, I don't know how you change that name. That's all right.
So, but how do you change it to something like Isaiah? I mean, I don't know. So we are down to numero uno, my man.
Yes.
Numero uno.
And if you think I was passionate about my 3 and 2, wait till 1.
So this guy he hasn't been on TV long. He comes from a wrestling family that has probably one of the most recognizable not only tag teams, but his uncle had one of the most recognizable singles runs in several promotions. And this kid has a look that I think is going to drive him really far. Yes, he is one of the bigger guys. But he also kind of has that ability to, I think, either go heel. His dad was more of a baby face in some of his runs. His dad still played a heel. His uncle is definitely the heel of heels, in my opinion, in certain areas.
His dad's a transphobe, just so you know. I know who you're talking about.
But this kid has, I kind of see an it factor in this kid. Whether or not it's going to be utilized where he's at, I don't know. Because I don't know if that family name is going to carry him that far where he's at.
Before you say the name, can you picture my number 10? Fuck. Okay, sorry. My number 10, Shane Mercer versus your number 1.
I would pay money
Exactly.
to see that match.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Continue.
think that would be a knockout brawl of a match.
That'd be amazing.
I think they would be super well suited for each other. Okay. So if we have rival promotions, we're going to have to definitely make something
work
like
together.
that happen.
Yeah.
I'm talking about none other than Braun Breaker.
Yep, I do it.
I mean, you're talking about. I mean, you're talking about the Steiner brothers, man. You're talking about two guys who, not only made a name for themselves in tag wrestling, but Scott was a phenomenal heel. Of course, it kind of just came natural. He was a phenomenal asshole in real life. Not to say anything super bad about Scott, but Scott's ability and what he did, I think, kind of speaks for itself, right? Minus the fact that I think that dude was roided to hell and back, but he played that Big Papa Pump role to perfection. Can't imagine any other wrestler who could have played what he did, and he owned what he was. And now his nephew is breaking into the pro wrestling scene, and I just see, as long as he is utilized properly, I don't see anything but this kid skyrocketing, because he has that ability to be big. And I don't mean just big in WWE or big in stature. I think this kid could be known worldwide if it's done right. I think he could be that next big star that the WWE, in my opinion, is lacking with guys on their way out.
We were just talking about WWE name changes.
Mm-hmm. I
I think him not coming in as a Steiner actually was
Is a mistake.
A mistake?
Him not coming in as a Steiner?
Yeah. I think I'm not big on the name Braun Breaker, but I think it's better than Braun Steiner. Or having Steiner attached to his name, I don't think is necessary. I think it gives him the ability to build himself, his career, and yes, people know that he's Steiner. Not to mention his dad, like I just said a minute ago, recently, not the best person. So
I don't say the Steiner brothers were role models,
can
man.
Separate. But out of the two, you would think Rick was the better one, but turns out he's not. Anyways, besides the point. So I think that was a good decision to give him a different name other than.
Yeah, I can see that going both ways. I mean, if they're going with Braun Breaker to give him that new identity, that way to become his own wrestler, and he takes it, he runs with it, and becomes. I agree with you on that. Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to look at The Rock and a few other things. When he came out as Rocky Maivia using his dad's name and his grandfather's last name, it didn't really pan out until he made his own identity of what it was. So, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But I see so much potential in this kid. I really think he can do a lot, given the opportunity, given the right push. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not 100% sure WWE is the place for him to do that.
We'll see. As expected, though, I think you have the Vince McMahon eye. Not saying your choices were all good.
Dude, not every guy on here was a big guy.
Not everyone,
I mean,
but in comparison to my list, I the size thing does it's but it's fine. I'm like I said, I'm not
Okay,
discrediting
alright.
your list at all. I like the Braun Breaker choice. I like the Penta. Yeah, surprising Braun. Everybody else got it. Understand. But number one for mine, unequivocally, like I said, thought I was passionate about. But the last two, it's this man right here. He actually shares your name. His name is Matthew. Matthew Taven, to be exact. He
Okay.
is the oldest person on my list. He is 40 years old. But I could not put him on my list.
out of everyone else that you
Listen,
kicked off for that,
I know. Let me talk. I'm telling you right now, okay? He is the oldest person on my list, but I could not put him on my list. And I could not put him as number one. Because
Okay.
if I were to walk out this door right now with how much ever money and start a promotion, he's the first person I'd be on the phone to. And there's several different reasons. One, his in-ring talent is fucking phenomenal. He has main evented in Arena Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
He has main evented in the Tokyo Dome. He has main evented in Madison Square Garden, where he won the world ROH World Title. I was there; it was so awesome. He is one of only
I've
like
never been
5
to
people.
MSG. I want to go sometime.
Yeah, it's awesome. He's I think one of only. I could be wrong about the number, but one of only 5 people to main event in those 3. Those are some of the biggest arenas or whatever. He has headlined in every promotion that he has been in, except for AEW. Don't know what they're doing. I don't get it. But whatever. My favorite all-time match, if we ever do our top 10 favorite matches, again, I'm partial, so maybe that's why, but it was Matt Taven versus Cody Rhodes, a Ring of Honor show, First Blood match.
Nice.
Let me tell you why. The match, both wrestlers, phenomenal. They're great. The match was great. Like, he punched Taven, but ended up the blood on his hand, and that was how he lost the match. That sounds so fucking stupid, and like, why would you like that? You had to be there, but just the storytelling in the match, the way those two, specifically Taven, like his storytelling ability and everything he does, like the small little details, is why I love Matt Taven. Okay. And that's one of them. And the way he played it off, like with the ref and the crowd and whatever. So that's my favorite match. The first interaction I had with Matt Taven, went to an ROH show in Nashville, Tennessee. During intermission, went out to meet wrestlers or whatever. The Kingdom, which was Matt Taven and his 2 lackeys, I guess, Vinny and TKO, were supposed to be at the table. I was second to meet them because they had a match and I really liked it. Again, it was Matt Taven versus Cody at that time. There was a feud, and Cody was a babyface, so everybody was cheering for Cody. But I, again, liking heels, was like, I gotta go out there and meet these guys. These guys are awesome.
Right.
I was second in line out there intermission. I waited about 15 minutes. They weren't there, or Matt Taven wasn't there. The other 2 were there. Matt Taven came out, got on top of the desk, said, "I'm not fucking signing any of your signatures. Y'all chanted for that Melvin Cody." He took his guys and he left.
Oh, wow.
Literally stayed in character. He had people in
He
line.
committed that.
Yes.
Yes. See, I respect that.
From
though.
that moment, I'm like, this motherfucker. I like this guy.
Yeah.
So I started watching more of his stuff. And everything I watched, I was like, he is so fucking good. He's so fluent. He does lucha shit. He does technical shit. He's good on the mic. His character work is phenomenal. His story, I'm telling you, man, people don't know this because he's never been on WWE television.
Right.
But he has that. He is that. His thing is, I'm Matt Taven. Yes, I don't know what Matt Taven is, but it's that. So that would be the
And-
number one person I'd have in my promotion.
I'll be honest, the impact he had by standing on that desk saying, I'm not signing none of y'all shit and leaving was larger than if he would have sat there and signed 900 autographs. Dude, like that made a bigger impact on not only fans, but the commitment to his role than if he would have sat there and went, oh yeah, thanks for coming to the show, signing this and taking some pictures and stuff. It's especially for a heel to commit and pull that off has a bigger impact than him interacting with as many fans as he could have got through because he just impacted the entire room. Every single person, whether they liked him or hated him, I guarantee they were telling someone about it the next day, right?
Or a couple years later saying it on a podcast.
Exactly. I mean, so this is the kind of influence when you're looking at what these guys do and how they interact with fans. That 30 seconds of going, yeah, fuck you all are, we're doing this for him. I'm taking my boys and we're rolling out, had a much bigger impact than if you would have just sat there and interacted with the fans. And I mean, and that's kind of what it's about, right?
Agreed.
And you mentioned something that we really haven't touched on, and that's the storytelling in the ring. There's a big difference between guys who have a great match and guys who know how to pace a great match, right? Like guys who know when to slow it down, guys who know how long to pause on that top rope to get that maximum impact, guys who know how to kind of let what's going on cook in the crowd for a while and really create that entire experience of what's going on in the ring, that storytelling of what's going on in the ring, right? It's not just about selling, the quote unquote hits. It's not about so much as high flying off the ropes as it is, did you pick the right spot and the right timing to come off the ropes and make that impact really make the difference? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And guys who can pace a match is just as important as guys who can perform in the match at a high level. You don't have to come off the top rope every time to make an impact in a match, but if you pace that match just right, and even if you didn't have what some people would call huge spots, it's almost more impactful than if you had like a couple huge spots.
Agreed.
It's that guy who holds that guy in that vertical suplex just long enough to let everyone know, yeah, I'm stronger than you think I am, and I'm this, and then that slow backdrop into the mat where I mean that pacing is so important when it comes to a match, and some guys have it.
It's the little details,
and there's some guys who got to the top of the wrestling game that didn't have it.
Yeah.
Goldberg, I'm sorry, that guy was a 5-minute matcher. Like he had to get out there, destroy somebody, and leave, and he built a gimmick on it, and it worked. But pacing a match was not what he did, like at all. And there were, and guys like Cody knows how to pace a match, and because he knows how to pace a match, the other guy he's in a match with, he can make anybody look like a rock star, right?
Yeah.
But you get two guys in there that know how to pace a match, like what you were just describing. Yeah. Now you have something very special.
I told the story of the match terribly because I was thinking ahead and mixing myself all up. People need to look for that match, or you need to go try to check out that match.
I'm sure it's probably on YouTube.
Yeah. It probably won't even stand out to you. But again, if you're paying attention to the story in the ring, comedians do crowd work sometimes. Mm-hmm. Wrestlers do too. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of that in the match. There's crowd work in that match that tells the story of what's happening, their feud up to that point and ending in the match. And it's phenomenal. And Taven is just A1 steak sauce. There's no other way to put it. So
yeah.
And also more I have a soft spot for Taven. Met him so many fucking times. Like anytime he goes to local shows, even if it's in like Pennsylvania or wherever, I'll drive. It's local enough because I like Taven. My wife does too. He recognizes us. This is like back to earlier. Like we met him one time, and the next time he remembered who we were.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, how the fuck do you know? And now he knows us by names. Right before COVID, I had a group of people. We were going to go to this haunted place in Ohio, and he was injured at the time, so I knew he wasn't wrestling, and I knew that he liked haunted stuff, like investigation and stuff. I reached out to him on Twitter and said, "Hey, this is happening. Would really like to invite you to go, like if you want to go or whatever." And he was going to. Got canceled because of fucking COVID. So I didn't get to hang out with Matt Taven at a fucking haunted place. Sucks. Fuck you, COVID. Anyways, another time we were at a wrestling show, my wife was wearing a Brandy Rhodes t-shirt, and we went over like we were going to say hi or whatever. Not even a meet and greet. Just he was over there. We were just going to say hi or whatever. And he was like, "I'm not taking a picture with that fucking shirt on," and he held to it. But we love that because we know he's so fucking cool.
Right.
But just every time since then, like he knows our names.
Nice.
Like he doesn't have to do that.
Right.
And it could be years since we see him. We go back. I guarantee he knows who we are. And that just to me, it's like that's my dude, Matt Taven. Randy Savage, number 1 all time ever. Matt Taven, number 2.
Well, putting him up there
real.
with Macho Man. So that's
Savage is 1. No one's ever going to top Savage. Love Matt Taven to death, but Savage is number 1.
Right.
But Taven is 2. That's why he would be my number 1 no matter what. I would. He could be 55 years old, and I'm like, all right, Matt Taven, I'm gonna call you. Get the older.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's our top 10. Very different lists.
Very different lists.
Again, as always, we had
one common
yeah.
common denominator in there, and honestly, I don't believe either list was bad. I think that if even one promotion picked up the 20 guys from our list, they would have a very strong run to the top on their hands, to be quite honest with you. But and
a third promotion can take my honorable mentions.
But I do think that there's a lot of it just comes down to that there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of guys who are really putting it on the line, who love the sport just as much as the fans love going to the sport. And it really doesn't matter what level you're at. There are guys committed to doing what needs to be done at that level, and there are guys committed to making sure everyone enjoys a great show when you go. Because I'm the first one to say that wrestling, it's in my opinion, regardless of what level you go to it at, wrestling is one of the greatest shows on earth. And once you get to the highest echelon where you have the guys on TV, obviously you're going to big venues and big crowds. But even if you go to the small venues and the independent shows, it is still one of the greatest shows on earth. And I will hold to that. I don't care what's on Broadway. I don't care what musician is going out and touring. Wrestling is still one of the top 3 greatest shows on earth that you can go see, because it's an experience that you will not get anywhere else. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, guys, it's typically not that expensive to go to an indie show. Yeah. Just find someone in your friend group that tells you they're a wrestling fan, because there's probably one in every friend group, and just be like, hey, let's go to an indie show. Most of them will not turn it down, especially if they're a real fan. And I guarantee that even if it's not your favorite thing in the world, you won't leave saying that was the worst time I've had doing anything this week or this month, because there is an energy there that is not only electric, but it's contagious. And whether you go, hey, it's real or it's fake, it really doesn't matter.
It's choreographed and predetermined. It's not fake.
If you can't appreciate what these guys are doing as far as the acrobatics and the flips, and their ability to connect with a crowd and tell a story and come out and tell you to get out of your seat because an ass whipping needs dealt out. I mean, there's just little things that are going to happen that not only I think will surprise you, but I think you'll find yourself somehow getting excited for someone you have no idea why, because the energy in the room is just going to be that way. Yeah. And to me, that's one of the greatest parts of going to wrestling. I kind of saw my daughter kind of start getting, bit by that energy bug that was in the room. And, when my daughter says that she's not a wrestling fan and she doesn't care, now she can't wait to go back and, she took some videos and we put on TikTok, and every couple days she's like, how many views did it get? Is it still going up? Is it still this? Is it still that? I mean, there's just an energy there, and there's just an adrenaline that kind of happens there in the crowd, even though you're not performing up front. That is something that is just, that I can't compare to anything else. You know, I mean, there's a lot of thrills out there that you can do and you can go have fun at, but what you get at a wrestling show energy-wise is something that is unique. And it's something that can be enjoyed by anybody and everybody. So,
Very well said. 100% everything you said. And wherever you are, there are local wrestling federations that put on at, as they would say, bingo halls or VFWs and that kind of thing. There's, I mean, you don't have to go to a main.
I was looking around.
Promotion.
There's 3 in Southern Ohio outside of Wrestling Revolver. There's 3.
Yeah.
We even have midget wrestling. It's fucking awesome. We gotta go. Anyway, so it's not hard to find, guys. And usually you're spending $10 to $15 for some of these things. You know, maybe 20 to 25. Some of the little bit bigger ones, maybe a little bit more. But when you think about spending $80 to go sit in the rafters for a WWE event, I mean,
you can spend $80 to sit front row at an indie show and get a signature probably, and maybe even
probably
pick
get
up
most of the signatures.
Maybe pick up a bucket with that was hit over someone's head during a match.
So it's still bent. Yes, it is.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I mean, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the list. I know it was long, very long-winded, and we got to
at
get
3
ready
hours.
and we got to get ready and jump out of here because we still have to download this thing before we leave the studio. But you got anything, my man?
Just one more final Mary Fuck Kill to end the episode, and we'll
All right,
cut
let's
out.
go.
That's your turn, isn't it?
No.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Well, we
Oh,
haven't.
no. I guess it is my turn because it was the Gwyneth Paltrow one or whatever last time. Or was it? Yeah.
No, you're right. I started. Okay. And you're going to the women's cards. We already had 3 women.
I was just going to
let's do
two
men.
and do the whole.
Let's do men.
Okay, we're just going to go straight to the sausage fest. I see how it is.
I was really hoping that there was going to be a wrestler on these, but no. Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
Oh, Lord.
Charlie Sheen, Ryan Seacrest.
What the fuck?
One is dead, one should be dead, and, well, the other one's Ryan Seacrest.
Jesus Christ. You realize there's not, for me, there's,
No. For you, for either, what are we talking about here?
I don't know,
Just
maybe
'cause
you're a
I'm
NASCAR fan or something.
Just because
I
I'm
mean,
comfortable doing this doesn't mean that these are good options.
No, none of them are. I guess I'm digging up Dale Earnhardt Jr. to kill him again. I'm gonna fuck Ryan Seacrest because he's a bitch. And that leaves me wearing Charlie Sheen, hoping he overdoses and leaves me his money at that point. Because, I mean, dear God, I mean, the parties are going to be outrageous.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no good way to spend those 3, man.
Okay, well, I'm going to do my best shot here. I'm actually going to kill Charlie Sheen. I don't know how he's not dead yet. I mean, he hasn't died, right?
No, but that bears
Okay.
the question is, can you kill Charlie Sheen?
I don't do drugs, and the party scene isn't really me anyways, and I never really liked him as an actor, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that guy. That leaves me with Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Ryan Seacrest. I am going to fuck Ryan Seacrest because out of the 3, I guess he's the prettiest. So that's happening. And then Dale Earnhardt Jr., even though I'm a Jeff Gordon fan, I guess I'm going to marry old Dale.
Oh, man. Okay.
And that does it. So
You didn't like any Charlie Sheen movies?
not really.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see the one he did with his brother where they were trashmen? What was it, Men at Work or something? No.
I don't think I have.
That one was a good one.
I also kind of avoid it because I just don't like him. Like I don't. He's not up my alley. Maybe he's hilarious. I don't know.
I always thought his brother was a better actor than he was.
Why do I feel like he actually just recently died? I need to look. If you want to give the outro, why I look.
I don't think he has.
Okay.
All right, so while he's looking up if Charlie Sheen is still alive.
59 years old. Okay.
Yep, there he is. He's still alive, folks. So still alive, kicking and snorting more cocaine than he should. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at _Inappropriates_podcast. And look us up on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your music and your podcasts. You should be able to find us there. And once again, anybody has any ideas for a top 10 list, drop us a comment on any of those platforms, please. And we will see it and accommodate that as much as possible. And when I say as much as possible, to just get worked right into the rotation for you at this point. So once again, we do appreciate each and every person that listens. And Kyle, for listening to every episode and not wanting to hunt us down and punch us in the face. Thank you so much. And now I want a car wreck and music to play every time I walk into a room for some reason. So anyhow,
Make that happen.
once again, this is the Inappropriates podcast, and we do appreciate every listen, every download, and everybody who takes the hours of time out of their day to listen to us ramble on about stuff that they may or may not be interested in. We thank you. And until next time, have a week.
Peace.
All right, folks, so until next time, I'm Matthew,
I'm Nathan.
and we're here reminding you to be yourself, because everyone else is taken.
So fucking inappropriate.